Giants leading receiver Sterling Shepard will miss the rest of this season with a torn ACL suffered in last night's loss to the Cowboys. His absence a big hit for New York's receiving group, which has been a problem this season, believes former Giants running back Brandon Jacobs.
I wish we had more wide receiver play, take some pressure off of Saquon and make Daniel Jones' job a little easier. I mean, the guys he's throwing to, man, not too many people has ever heard of him. But at the end of the day, man, you need a core at the wide receiver group, and you need that one bell cow. We don't have that.
Brandon Jacobs on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. With the threat of Hurricane Ian, the Buccaneers are temporarily relocating to South Florida. The South Carolina State football game moved from Saturday to Thursday at 7 Eastern. The Florida Eastern Washington game pushed back to Sunday at noon Eastern. The Tampa Bay Lightning are postponing preseason home games for tomorrow and Thursday. Kurt Busch says he remains hopeful that he'll be able to recover in time for concussion to race before the end of the NASCAR season. There are 6 races remaining.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
ESPN 690 and Action Sports Shacks presents Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau.
We're going to have to show a little more patience than the year 2 pom-pom people.
Casey Kurtz.
Yo! What are we doing, bro? Come on!
And Aaron Schachter.
I'm all in favor of these two showing their love, really celebrating their relationship.
Get him! Get him! Get him! Get him! This is Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau, Casey Kurtz, and Aaron Schachter on Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio, ESPN 690.
What has happened on a Tuesday from Davoli's House of Cards down here in St. Johns County? Brent Martineau flying solo down here, but Casey Kurtz in the Action Sports Shack studios. Aaron Schachter, well, he's going to be in and out this week, and mostly out because he's a corporate guy. So he's got to take it. He's got to do some of those corporate-y things as we get ready for Hurricane Ian to approach the state of Florida and Jacksonville as well, as we'll continue to keep you posted. And one of the things we'll get into early in the show here, we do have some pretty significant schedule changes. So if you've been working today and you haven't caught up yet on and seeing some of them, we'll update you on the changes that have happened, including with the Florida Gators, a lot of high school events. So far, the Jags are like status quo with everything. Of course, they're going to Philadelphia, and their window should be okay. I'm still wondering what they're going to do Thursday and Friday from a practice standpoint, but they have tomorrow to figure that out, and they can change almost on a whim if they want to do so. We'll check in with Florida State. What about their game? How could it be impacted? And what about the Noles? Jeff Culhane, the voice of the Noles, will join us on ESPN 690 around 4:30. We'll go around the NFL today because the topic I didn't get to yesterday is Tua. And now you'll wonder if Tua will even play, I guess, Thursday night, coming off the back spasms. We'll see. That's a good game Thursday night, potentially, with the way the Dolphins are playing. I want to take a peek ahead to Philadelphia a little bit. We're going to talk a lot on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But now I'm starting to be curious if we'll be able to talk on Thursday and Friday as much as we want to about the Jags. Yeah. So I do want to start diving into Doug Peterson going back. I think it's a big deal that Doug Peterson's going back to Philadelphia, Casey. Let's just begin there for a moment and touch on it. Peterson wins a Lombardi trophy. I mean, they celebrate this guy. In fact, right off the top of my head, I'm like, he's got to get a big ovation when he goes back to Philly, right?
I don't know. I think it ended in an interesting way for them. I don't know how the Philly fans will react, to be honest with you. They're kind of a rational fan base. I would think in theory that he deserves a standing O for winning them a Super Bowl, but they booed Santa or threw stuff at him, whatever the situation was there. So I'm not sure how that'll play out, but I think he deserves it. Will he get it? Yet to be seen.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it ended from a bad blood kind of standpoint with Philly. I mean, sure, when you're not winning as much from the fan base perspective, you're like, okay, but they're doing well, so that always helps. How are you doing in response? And I think that leads to, well, we're in a good mood right now. We're 3-0. We're the best team in the National Football League. You can make the case if you're a Philadelphia fan. And he won you a Lombardi trophy, all right? And that was missing from the trophy case for Eagles fans. I mean, I've got to believe Doug Peterson gets a big ovation, and I don't even know how they'll announce him, but when he comes on the field, like, this is not going to be a Russell Wilson situation, although I will say, a little surprised at the Russell Wilson situation. The one thing that turned that was the article that had come out like a week earlier and some of the stuff that was created there, and so then all of a sudden Seattle fan feels spurned and like, you don't want to be here. Well, that wasn't the case for Doug Peterson. He didn't ask to leave, so I think it will be interesting, but I just got to believe he's got to get a big ovation when he goes back to Philadelphia. I think it's a really cool story, a big story, and I think the Jaguars are really lucky to have him. That's really the biggest thing going on with Doug Peterson right now. It's almost like we said this yesterday, but how did the rest of the league with 10, I think they ended up with 11 openings, hardly like make a pass at Doug Peterson? And now all these GMs and owners must be looking down here and say, well, we might like our guy, we might like our situation, we might be fine, but we might have to evaluate our processes again because we should have taken a deeper dive at this guy. He won a Lombardi Trophy. Look what he's fixed already in Jacksonville. Doug Peterson should be getting rave reviews. We already think he's like the front runner 3 weeks in to be the coach of the year. And who knows where that would end up, of course, by the end of the season. But all the things that have changed in Jacksonville in such a short time, and I just don't think you can, magnify that enough, that how much has changed in short amount of time. I mean, we're talking going back to February. Remember, they were late in the hiring process. We wondered if that would hurt him. It didn't at all, putting together a staff. He put together an amazing staff, it looks like, with a ton of experience. Like, he did the 180 from what happened last year and maybe even years prior, and he fixed it big time by getting former players. I even asked somebody, I asked Jamal Agnew last night on Jags Report Live. I did. I asked him.
Great program.
Well, we were talking about the butt punt, right?
Sure.
And so
had to.
Yeah, we had to. And so I said, what would the reaction be like in a room when you're reviewing the tape of that? He said, well, it really would be different if you win or lose. Like, if you win, you're kind of laughing about it. But if you lose, that guy's probably going crazy on you, right?
Yeah.
And I said, well, because special teams guys are crazy to begin with. Like, they kind of are, right? The coaches, like, they're like offensive line coaches.
Yeah, fired
like
up.
Those two guys, like, if you would label them, are, like, super intense. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying they are super intense. Well, even I said to Jamal, I said, well, Heath Farwell, I don't see that from him. I'm sure he can be like that, but I don't see him like as this raging lunatic out on the field, And he said, well, he's a former player. He gets it.
True.
And that was an interesting response, and it was another reminder that look around that roster and that staff of the Jacksonville Jaguars coaching staff that Doug Peterson brought in, and it's former player, QB experience, former player. I mean, you've got a lot of that on there. And there are other staffs that are like that. But at this time, for this team to respect that staff and especially the head coach, I think that former playing experience coming off Urban Meyer especially, and I always hesitate to loop everybody with Urban on last year's staff. There were some good football men in there, good people in there, but the Urban thing didn't work out, so we kind of loop it in as a staff headlined by Urban. And this is just a 180 from a lot of that. Those other guys had some playing experience too, but this is like to a man, and you can almost feel it. You think it matters. It makes an impact, and I think these guys feed off that, to go along with the Lombardi Trophy for Peterson, the success for Peterson, the tree of Andy Reid. And I think you're getting all these different elements of the response of this football team. And there's one other part of this, is that I think they're going to want to win for Doug. Like, I actually think this is a win-one for Dougie type of situation.
Oh, yeah.
Which is weird, right? That's not a thing. Come on. Is that a thing? Yeah, I think it's a thing this week.
Yeah, it's a thing, Brent. Sometimes I occasionally want to do well for you and Aaron. You know what I'm saying? You got to do one for the team. You got to do one for the people in charge. So, yeah.
Wow, that warms my heart.
It should. It really should. With your, because it's not warm in your heart. It's like your $18 coffee you just bought. But that's not important.
Not yet, because I got to go get it.
That's
still.
true.
Just
but
down the road.
Yeah, I think there's some games where you get up for your guy and knowing what they were or where they were before they were here. And it just gives you a little bit of extra motivation. Everyone's got that next level, Brent. You just got to get to it. And this is one of those games.
Yeah, and again, I think they do that because they respect him and the way he's treated them and the way what he's done. I think they recognize this turnaround. I was also thinking of this a little bit today. I said this countless times last year during the nightmare season that was going on, and as we even learned more and more about what was going on and how messy it was with Urban Meyer and just didn't work, that the locker room did a good job of staying together. Now, sometimes when you have that guy in Urban and you don't like it and what's happened, well, you kind of galvanize. But I think the locker room showed a bit of maturity last year, too, and then all they did was add to that, with guys, the young guys, even with Walker and Lloyd and you name it, to the veteran guys they brought in. Kirk, great locker room guy, right? So Zay Jones, I mean, there's a maturity about them, too, to add to a locker room that already went through a lot, but also handled that situation pretty well. Like, they never had infighting that I heard of last year in that locker room. And, again, it might have been because they were all pointing at the guy down the hall, but at least they didn't have that. So there was a group that was pretty good already, and they just added to it. And then you bring a coach and a coaching staff that respects that group in that locker room, appreciates what they do, and respects them as people, and gives them some leeway and insight and ownership, which they didn't get last year. And now I think you're seeing some of this blossom faster. It was the one question that we did have this past offseason and we couldn't quantify it. I thought the Jags had a little bit of talent. We also knew it was a nightmare season last year. But we just weren't sure how many games Urban Meyer maybe cost them with the situation he created. Remember that conversation, Casey? Like, is that worth like 2 wins?
Yes.
Is it worth 1? Is it going to even be a factor because somehow the Jags won 3 games against some pretty decent teams last year?
Yeah.
And maybe they were just flat out bad and they got to do a whole lot of roster regrouping. Well, I think what's playing out here is coaching really matters. And there was probably an underbelly of talent that they were not getting the most out of last year, where that team, I thought, should have won 5 games last year. And I think Doug Peterson would have easily won 5 games with that roster last year, and maybe even more. And now you're starting to say, oh, wait a minute now. This Urban Meyer to Doug Peterson switch might be worth like 4 games.
Yeah.
It might not be worth 2 or 1 or none. It might be worth 3, 4. Heck, I don't know. Maybe it's worth 5. We'll never fully know. But it's starting to seem like that quantifiable number was a lot bigger than maybe we thought, Casey.
Yeah, and I think just to that point, you talked with Jamal Agnew about it. We'll play it a little bit later, just about the free agents that Doug Peterson brought in, right, and what the impact they had. But at the same time, to your point, we thought they could have been a 5-win team last year, and you look, there are different faces, obviously, that are making plays, but a lot is the same. On the offensive line, sure, you got a new center, but, those guys are there. Marvin Jones is still here. On the defense, you got a lot of the same guys that were here last year. So to your point, yeah, at that point, it is coaching and getting the best out of your players. Obviously, growing from Trevor, important as well, and Doug Peterson helped move that along. But to your point, yeah, Doug Peterson, I think it's going to be whatever we thought it was going to be from Urban Meyer to Doug Peterson. I give it +2 on whatever we said, because there's no doubt in my mind. And Urban Meyer still wouldn't have been the coach at this point. But I think even if they don't make the decision with Doug Peterson, I'm not convinced they go to L.A. and beat a Chargers team the way they just did if Doug Peterson wasn't their coach.
Yeah, I agree. Well, listen, I think there's 2 elements of it that I'm looking at from this vantage point. And one is, okay, there's X's and O's calling a game and coaching. And right now I think Doug's like the most brilliant guy I've ever seen in Jacksonville do it. It's just been amazing to watch because it jumps out at you that he put together these pieces along with Trent Baalke, and boom, look what he's making them all do. I mean, it's like he's playing a video game with these guys, even though they might not be like 95 rated guys on Madden. You know what I mean? So, I mean, he's the one pushing those buttons, and then those guys got to go make plays. So I think there's that facet of it, but I just don't know what the feel of it all, like that healing part of it that Doug was talking about. I didn't know how many wins that would allow this team to just be the best of themselves. And right now I think we're learning that, holy cow, it might have been more than we initially thought, or at least could have even guessed. And we'll see if it keeps heading in that direction. And so that does bring up a question that I have, and I want you to think about for a little bit later in the show. Are these guys like really good? Are we allowed to ask, like, are the Jags really good? Because if you look at every measurable through 3 weeks now, we're not talking 1, not even 2, we're getting to 3 weeks in, the Jacksonville Jaguars in every statistical category are right now like a top 10 team. And just to remind everybody, in the power ranking system, they were like a bottom 5 team going into the year.
Right.
So, I mean, that is a massive jump. And there's still plenty of time for that to collapse and average out and get, maybe they're a 15, maybe they're an 18, maybe they're just an average team. Certainly could be the case. I'm not telling you they are a great team or they're really good. But right now they're playing like a really good football team. And they go get to play against another really good football team that's playing like it in Philadelphia this week. I just wonder if we start asking ourselves, can they do this for 17 weeks or at least 14 out of the 17 and put themselves in a position to be a dangerous, dangerous team later in the year? That's getting way ahead of it, but hey, this is a fun time to ask those kind of questions. We don't get this opportunity very often. We did projections yesterday, Casey.
We did.
Because we don't get this very often. And again, a 3-week sample is a sixth of the season. Like, that's not that small of a sample. We're a sixth of the way home.
Good math.
Actually, more than that.
Okay.
So
I'll take your word.
And I'm not doing that, but a sixth would be 18 games.
Carry the one. Yeah,
you know what I mean? So, I mean, a sixth is, what's a sixth? Like 17%?
Yep.
Is that right?
It sounds perfect from all the math I took in middle school.
So maybe we're like 18.5 or 18.5% or something.
Yeah, it just keeps getting deeper and deeper, yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway. We got some questions to be answered later on in the program about, are they really pretty good? And I want to keep talking
also
about
some math questions apparently answer later. Hey, a couple things from the stream I want to bring up to you because one of them I've actually been thinking about, so I will get your thought on that. But first, Delphonic didn't take you for an $18 coffee guy. He's a little bit disappointed to hear that, Brent.
Yeah, I'm not an $18 coffee guy, okay? But it's not 18. It was like $6.39, but it was a little surprising that it was that much.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, listen, you go to the Jags hotel in the morning, you know, you're at like a nice hotel in Philadelphia, say on Sunday.
Oh, okay.
And the station's paying for it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care if it's a $6.50 kind of coffee.
Nice. Bring me back one, too.
Yeah. So, like, and I kind of expected, like, they inflate everything, you know. But I will say this. In California, at the Starbucks, in the team hotel, in California, where gas was $6.29 a gallon, I paid $3.83 for my Starbucks coffee. Here in Jacksonville, on 210, I just paid $6.29 for the same. Actually, it might even be a smaller coffee.
Wow.
I mean, what the heck are they making this coffee out of?
The special beans.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's going to be good.
I bet it will be. Anyway, back to football. Andy asks, and I kind of brought this up yesterday during overtime with Kurtz and Middleton. Great program. You should check it out. It's 6 p.m. on this same radio station. But how the question that he asks is, how do we think Byron Leftwich does with this team? And I thought about that yesterday because I was thinking about Doug Peterson. And I don't think they're as good because you got the first time head coach part of it. But I think in the long run, it would have been a bad decision to make that move because of what Doug Peterson in 3 weeks has already done. Like, again, Byron might be a great coach, and we will find out, I bet, at some point. Someone will hire him. But, like, I don't think he could have done what Doug Peterson's done in this short amount of time. And then going forward, the trust he's already built and the cachet he already has with his players. So that's kind of my take on it, but I will be interested to hear yours.
Yeah, that's a really good question, and thanks for the question about it. I hadn't really thought about that much. I thought a little about, like, right now we're seeing Nathaniel Hackett, who got a job, and I genuinely think, and I really like it, Nathaniel Hackett, but with the struggles they're having right now, and maybe by week 8, like, he's better off, but right now my confidence level in the Jags beating Denver is really high in London, and it has really nothing to do with their rosters. It has everything to do with the two guys on the sideline. I think right now what I'm seeing through 3 weeks, I just give Doug a massive advantage over Nathaniel Hackett. And I do think we've seen in these first few weeks coaching matters. I mean, Doug's running circles around some of these defenses. Now, that Denver defense is pretty good, so he's going to have his work cut out. And I don't think it's going to be like this every week. I'm not that pie in the sky. You're going to run into it where sometimes your game plan doesn't work like you want it to work, or you certainly don't execute the way you want to execute. But so I thought about it from a Nathaniel Hackett because that's coming down the road. And Hackett, by the way, will be much better probably in a month than he has been in these first few weeks.
Can't be worse.
And somehow they're still 2-1 anyway, you know. So I assume they're going to get that offense cooking at some point. But to answer your question about Byron Leftwich, like, I don't know because we don't have a sample. I was not against Byron Leftwich being the head coach here. In fact, I could have signed on easy. First time coach scared you a little bit, but I think it could have been a nice fit, a welcome home. I think a lot of people got around that. I think if you went back to our shows during that time, I don't think you'll find us hammering the idea that Byron Leftwich could be the guy and how that could work. He was learned from Brady, right? He learned from a lot of different – he'd been in Pittsburgh. He knew how to – you'd figure the culture of winning. So I think they'd be okay, but I cannot say they would be doing what they are doing. And I'm going to give you the reason why. I don't think it actually has as much to do with the X's and O's, although I think it's fair to say Doug's probably a better play caller due to experience than Byron Leftwich. And could we be having the same issues that the Denver Broncos are having with their first-time head coach, Nathaniel Hackett, who wants to call plays but also manage the game? I would say absolutely. Mm-hmm. Doug is very comfortable in that role, and he knows who to lean on. And the second go-around guy is awesome in my estimation, especially when he had a year off to go back and think about what he would do different. And I think you're seeing some of that play out early in the season. But the biggest difference for me is, and I think Byron Leftwich would be great for the culture. I think he would have been good for the culture. But I don't know if there's anybody that could have been hired, Casey, that could have been hired, that could have done the job that Doug Peterson has done leading up to the season and flipping this around and making these guys believe and feel better about themselves and the building feel better. That was even when they were 0-0, we were saying that, okay? Now they feel a lot better because they're 2-1. So I give Doug the most credit for that he was able to flip this thing in short order from a feel standpoint and from a respect standpoint and from a, hey, we know we can play football standpoint. And I'm not sure I could say Leftwich would have been good at that because I don't know how he would have handled that. That would be a tough thing for another first-time coach, head spinning a little bit. There's a lot going on. And also you add that part to it that he would have to fix. And so, honestly, it's not just a Byron Leftwich question.
I agree with that.
Go give me all the hirings in this offseason. I don't think, and we've said this many times, and we actually thought this in the first week of the hiring process, I'm not sure there was a better fit for Jacksonville than Doug Peterson. I think we are seeing the perfect guy for this job at this time, what he inherited, who he has, where it's going. And I think the Jags got, quite frankly, extremely fortunate to be able to get Doug Peterson at this moment. There will be times that will criticize Doug, all right? Like, he's not perfect. I'm not calling him Vince Lombardi yet. But around here, for this situation, he is perfect, and you can go through all the hires. Mike McDaniel's doing a great job. Maybe he would have been good. But I don't know, and I don't think he can do as good a job as Doug's done through 3 weeks in the last 8 months here in Jacksonville.
It's a different vibe, I think. I think it's just what you get from Mike McDaniel is different. I don't think they wouldn't look at him the same way they look at Doug Peterson. And the Dolphins didn't really need to be healed, as we've heard Doug say. I just think that's a different vibe. And Leftwich, same deal. He's probably more relatable to the players, in their personal lives because he's closer to their age and obviously played the sport and all that. But I think Doug is just looked at as a different figure than Byron Leftwich or even a Mike McDaniel. Not for any bad reason. Those guys have their ways of leading, and it's obviously been working. But I think just this group needed Doug more than they needed a younger coach.
Yeah. And by the way, I will say this. Over the last week, I'm now mad at two different families from an ancestor's point of view. Why didn't Mike McDaniel add an S to his name, and why didn't Chase Daniel add an S to his name? Because I just go back and forth adding S's to both of their names.
Oh, McDaniels and Daniels?
It's McDaniel, right?
Mike McDaniel, yeah, I think so.
But it should be McDaniels. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
It's Chase Daniel.
It's definitely Chase Daniel.
It should be Chase Daniels.
It should, yeah. Well, nobody talks about him hardly ever, and now that he didn't officially start, we won't have to bring that conversation back up again. But Chase Daniel's stock just went way back down again.
Really
His mentions are just gone again.
Yeah, if you were buying Chase Daniel cards last week at Davoli's House of Cards, well, they're actually less expensive than they were a week ago.
If you can find a Chase Daniel card in that shop right now, I don't even know what. I can't offer you any money because I have none, but I would bet you something.
We'll take a break. Brent and Friends on ESPN 690. We'll have Jeff Culhane join us in about an hour. We go around the league. We'll get you caught up on some of the cancellations, what's going on because of Hurricane Ian as well. We're all coming back from Davoli's House of Cards on ESPN 690 right after this.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690. Partly cloudy with a few scattered showers developing today, mainly south of I-10, but a lot of dry hours. Highs in the mid-80s, dropping to near 70 tonight. And tomorrow will be mostly cloudy, becoming breezy. Showers, a few thunderstorms gradually spreading toward the north with highs in the upper 70s. Impacts from Ian will be most direct and significant Thursday into Friday. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish. Join me today beginning at 5 p.m. on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where now you can buy like a dealer buys.
All offers are with approved credit and not in conjunction. See dealer for complete details. Ram Power Days.
Summer is coming to a close and the kids are back in school. You're ready for fall, but you need a new pickup.
So where do you go?
Go where you can choose from the best selection on the best truck. That's Jacksonville, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Bay Meadows. Bighorn, Laramie, Rebel, we've got them. 1,500, 2,500, 3,500. Brand new, in stock, and ready for work or play. We'll have what you're looking for. Want a factory order your next new truck? We make the process fast and easy. Get exactly what you need and never pay a premium price. We'll take your old truck in trade, running or not. Just get it here. Our lenders are ready and waiting to get you financed today
at the very best rates available.
Perfect credit or not. Get your price and payment in 10 minutes or less. Hurry in today and test drive a brand new Ram. Everything you expect and more. Jacksonville, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, I-295 and Bay Meadows.
If you play a sport or coach a sport or watch a sport in Jacksonville, there's a really good chance that uniform was ordered through Baker Sports. Look good, feel good, play good. Custom sports apparel at Baker Sports since 1997 and a staff that wants to help you. They are experts in the business and make outfitting your team a seamless endeavor. The homegrown Jacksonville business is now the top choice for apparel all over the Southeast. Baker Sports, uniforms, hats, shoes, embroidery, screen printing, and 3D printing. They do it all at Baker Sports, helping make your team look good.
Hey, do you like beer?
Yeah.
What about great food and lederhosen? Then you're going to love the 3rd annual Oktoberfest at Kingmaker Brewing in Riverside, sponsored by 1-to-1 Financial Credit Union. Kingmaker has the only Oktoberfest in Jacksonville that spans 2 whole weekends, September 22nd to October 2nd. That's 10 days of good food, great beer, and amazing local businesses. Learn more or grab VIP tickets at kingmakerbrewing.com. Oktoberfest, September 22nd to October 2nd. Kingmaker in Riverside. Brought to you by Jacksonville's hometown credit union, 1-to-1 Financial. Dunk.
As Hurricane Ian approaches Florida, now is the time to prepare.
Let me show you just how far away the center is going.
Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish on guard with the First Alert Weather Team.
We will track what's going on inside the storm.
Ready to prepare and protect you with the area's most accurate, all-certified weather team.
Here's what you can expect where you live, county by county.
As we keep our eye on Ian, keep your eye on us. Action News Jax First Alert Weather, on air and streaming 24/7.
If you've been injured on the job and are not receiving the benefits you're entitled to, call me, Glenn Levine at the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 and take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
ESPN 690 is home for the Florida Sportsman Fishing Show hosted by Captain Rick Riles. Tune in every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. to find out what's biting now. Fishing so fresh, you can almost smell it.
Buying or leasing a car in Jacksonville is the best with Fields Auto Group, Jacksonville's luxury auto group. Lexus of Jacksonville and Orange Park, Mercedes-Benz of Jacksonville, Orange Park, Jaguar Land Rover, Jacksonville, Porsche, Jacksonville, Fields Cadillac, Jacksonville, and St. Augustine. If the luxury car you want isn't in stock, Fields Auto Group will order it. And at Fields, you'll never be charged over sticker price. Stop by a Fields store today and see what world-class service really means. Fields is a proud sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Fields Auto Group, fieldsauto.com.
My heart was racing just making spaghetti. I could have waited to tell my doctor, but I didn't wait.
I was short of breath just reading a book. I could have delayed telling my doctor, but I didn't wait.
They told their doctors and found out they have atrial fibrillation, a condition which makes it about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you have one or more of these symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness, this is no time to wait. Contact your doctor.
Brought to you by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Chest up, engage your core, dig
At
deep.
Misty's gym, boot camp gets pretty close to the real thing. She wants to spot a personal trainer with a military background.
I can cover this week's boot camp, but we need someone stat. Isn't your cousin a Marine?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks. Did you know you can watch our radio show? Yeah, video of a radio show. Just search ESPN 690 Jacks on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Or follow me on Twitter at Brent A.S. Jacks. Watch the show live weekdays from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. or listen on ESPN 690.
And, I mean, he came in and he said he was going to shift the energy, the culture like that. And he that's what he's done. He's brought the right people in, coaching staff-wise. Free agent-wise, he brought in the right guys to bring energy. I mean, if you guys have ever met Zay Jones, he exuberates energy, and it's crazy. He's always positive, and those are the type of people we needed, to shift the culture here. And, I mean, Coach Peterson he just brought that winning culture here, and that's what we needed.
That is Jamal Agnew. He was on Jags Report Live last night at Sneakers in Jacks Beach each and every Monday, and I don't think our show on Monday will get impacted by Hurricane Ian, but other shows, and I'm going to mention that coming up, certainly will this week. Jamal Agnew, really good on TV.
Yeah. Well
really
done.
Good.
Yeah, he is good.
Fun guy, too, as we highlighted a little bit yesterday.
Likable guy.
Likable guy. Cool story, man. Like, he said he was a 0-star, basically. No offers.
Yeah, we might play that in a little bit.
Ends up staying home at San Diego, but and we'll get into it a little bit later on, but played against JU a couple times because they were in that Pioneer League. And San Diego was awesome. JU always was competitive and pretty good, but he had 2 interceptions against JU. So he's played in Jacksonville before, even before signing that contract. And I always think it's interesting with Agnew because he was the first free agent signing of the Urban Meyer era.
Yep.
And really the Trent Baalke era, So he's really the Trent Baalke. Now that Baalke's still here, he's Baalke's first signing.
And really made the impact play of the last couple of years.
Oh my gosh, he made the 3 best plays of last year, 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
2 kick return, or 1 kick return, then 1 field goal.
The field goal
return.
Yes.
What do you even call that? A field goal return, I guess.
Yeah.
And then a catch against, I think, Indianapolis. That was just a tremendous catch, and he's supposed to be a return guy, and he's turned into a weapon a little bit of an option. He's not going to get it 5-6 times a game, but he got it the other day on a 2nd and 15 and got the first down, or 2nd and 12. So Jamal Agnew, good dude. And we'll have him on the show a couple more times. We now know the lineup for Jags Report Live. We just don't know exactly which day they're coming on. But we'll have more with Jamal Agnew. We've already had Andre Sisco a couple times, and he's due to join us a few more times. We'll have Dan Arnold a few times. We'll have Evan Ingram a few times. So, and then I'm working on a couple of one-offs as well.
The whole squad.
With that show. So, yeah, we do it a little bit different than we do with Jaguars All Access, where Josh Allen's our guest every week, and then he brings somebody else.
Josh and Friends.
Josh and Friends, yes. It's Brent and Friends and Josh and Friends.
You should propose that to the Jags, see how they like it. I'm sure they'll definitely just flip right on that.
On Twitter today, I proposed Josh should get a new contract like today. So we'll see how the Jags like that.
Nice. I don't know, Brent.
I think it's pretty good advice.
Hey,
what about you?
I think it's very good advice. Yeah. Listen, number one thing I hate to do, listen to Brent Martineau. But you occasionally have these good points, and that is a good one. You gotta extend Josh Allen, no matter what.
Yes, I think so. I did that after. I was actually tweeting about Rasheen talking about him yesterday, and then the Jags dropped their mic'd up segment on Jaguars.com and their YouTube channel, and it was really good. So later on tonight, after our show, Brent and Friends, you can go visit with Josh and his friends in a mic'd up segment. There, we're going to actually visit with Josh and my conversation with him Sunday in L.A. Before the end of this show. But I do want to talk a little bit more about cancellations. That Jaguars All Access show that we do on Thursday at String Sports Brewery, that has been postponed this week. We're sliding it around, and then we made an executive decision just because of some of the unknowns. And also we thought people wouldn't have much of a chance to get out there. We wish we could do it because they're coming off the win, and it's fun. But we're going to hold off and do an hour show next week. So we're going to go 1 hour from Strings, which is actually cool because I've always wanted to try the 1 hour All Access, especially when things are hopping and going well. Because
that's cool.
I think we run out of time sometimes on Jaguars All Access when it's when they're winning and it's fun,
Yeah.
So I look forward to doing that next Thursday. But this Thursday's canceled.
An hour of Josh and Friends next week.
An hour of Josh and Friends. And Brent. And Jeff Lageman.
Yeah. How does it feel to be the Friends now, Brent?
Yeah, yeah. That's
roles
okay.
reversed.
That's certainly fun. It's good to be a friend to somebody.
Especially Josh. It's good friends.
That's right.
I wish I was a friend.
Meanwhile, Friday Night Blitz scoreboard show. Those are not going to happen on Friday. Friday Night Blitz on 10:30 on Fox 30, 11:20 on CBS 47 and Fox 30. That is not happening because, quite frankly, we have no games. We have every school district is canceled they're out of school. Most schools are out Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, as many of you know. And so when you are out of school, you can't have after-school activities.
Mm-hmm.
And we will make up that show on TV. We will also make up the Blitz scoreboard show. We just haven't decided where. A lot of these games are being moved to Monday. So it's a possibility Monday is that Blitz scoreboard show or even Friday Night Blitz, but that's not official yet. We'll make sure we keep you in the loop on that front. There are high school games coming up today. In fact, I'm going to go to Providence and be live from there. They are playing University Christian. They were ahead of the storm and said, let's play Tuesday night. And so they're playing tonight at 7 o'clock. I'll be there live at 6:50 on Fox 30. And then tomorrow I know Episcopal and Bowles are scheduled. Now, I haven't seen if that changed any because a lot of schools are canceling on Wednesday, but I haven't seen yet if that changed with the private schools and Episcopal Bowles. But outside heard was 4 o'clock. There is also another school game tonight. What am I missing? Menendez playing tonight instead, I think at 6 o'clock. Again, follow us on social media. I'm not going to give you every one, but there's a bunch of different reschedules.
Things are thanging.
Yeah, they really are. I mean, they're working hard to try to reschedule them. And usually the time to reschedule is on a Monday, which I always think is kind of odd. Sometimes they'll play like a Friday, a Monday, and a Friday.
That's wild.
Which is nuts, right?
That's crazy.
It feels hard to play football like that.
Me and Brian Milton were actually talking about that when I was in there before the show. And, when you're a kid, right? Like, anytime, any place, let's get after it. So, yeah, but that still is tough. It's tough. Got to go to iCryo to recover from that, right, Brent?
Yes, very good. Thank you very much. iCryo in St. Johns County would be hopping that week. And it should be hopping anyway because that's where you go get your recovery. What else am I missing here? So no high school football Friday, no Blitz scoreboard show for us.
Do I still have to come to work on Thursday and Friday?
We don't know that yet, but welcome to Storm coverage. Would this be your first time doing Storm? We didn't have one last year?
No.
Really? We didn't have a Storm last year?
No.
Wow.
No.
I thought we almost got by this year without one. This is late in the season, kind of late in the season for it.
When I was in TV, there thought there was going to be one, but there wasn't. So, yeah, I've just been kind of skating through the no hurricane coverage, but now I'm on, all kinds of lists to do things, and it's
it's fun. Actually, I mean, it can be kind of fun because we don't do it all the time.
Right.
So when you get sucked into it a little bit, you're like, that's okay. It's kind of fun.
I like I don't like the hurricane, but I like the breaking newsy part of it. That's one thing that I like. Like when things are happening, we've had it happen a couple times on the show where I'm refreshing Twitter and I'm watching the TV. I enjoy that. So obviously I don't enjoy the hurricane part of it, but if they let me sit up there in front of the mic, Brett, I'll be boom, boom, boom. I'll be doing my thing. Hey, anyway, real quick, just to confirm, I know I usually ask you these type of questions, but Sawyer on Twitch, I think he's talking about Jags Report Live. If people go out, can they get autographs from your guests on the show?
Yeah, they can. Jamal signed for probably a good 20 minutes yesterday. Had a nice crowd yesterday. Man, winning helps. Winning helps. And we had a really good crowd. Love seeing the kids out there. Josh Allen's been signing at Strings as well after the shows, and so have his guests. The first time Trayvon Walker didn't sign because he had another commitment immediately following. And this is how cool Trayvon Walker is. He's like, hey, I'll come back and sign during another show, even if I'm not on it.
That's cool.
and so we're like, well, we'll bring you back on the show, and then you can.
We
sign
can
too.
squeeze you in, sir.
but anyway, but at Sneakers, yes, they sign after as well. Cisco has, and so is Jamal Agnew. Yeah, it's actually a fascinating discussion I've had with some of the marketing people and their agents because I don't think of it this way, but this became a thing really around Gardner Minshew time when he was hot, and I mean, call it 15 minutes of fame. It lasted more than that. But they were, he wasn't getting a lot of money to play football, like by NFL standards.
Right.
And so trying to cash in on some opportunities. Well, we had him out to Top Golf for Jags Report Live one time. But his guy said he wouldn't sign after. Now, it's not Gardner saying that, but it's their guys. And what they were doing is trying to protect him. Because you know this business well. They didn't want stuff out there being signed.
Yeah.
they wanted to keep the market clean so then they could get paid by like a Palm Beach Autographs or somebody like that to bring them in for a signing.
Yeah.
And
I understand it.
I get it. Like, I do
It's
get
wrong,
it.
but I understand it.
Well, it's okay. Like, what I would do, I don't know how wrong it is. I understand some of it as well. I would say two things that I kind of would go back and forth, be like, well, I mean, just sign for the kids, you know? Just sign for the kids. Like, that's all I care about, the kids. I mean, we appreciate everybody coming out, but as long as you can take the time to sign for the kids, I think that's cool, because I think the kids remember that, and that's how you grow the fan base a little bit too. They'll remember that moment. But the other thing is, I understand that if you can't sign anything, then maybe just take pictures, Casey. Like, that could be an option, right? Just take a picture. And we never get into those deeper conversations, but I just thought it was interesting, and you know that world.
Yeah.
And so, like, let's just say I could see, like, Trevor has a signing deal, right?
He does with Fanatics.
Okay, so I could see, like, if we had Trevor out, which we're not scheduled to yet, but hopefully at some point we will, like, I could see them limiting what he signs.
Sure,
right?
Because
certainly. He's got, like, a very lucrative deal with a memorabilia place.
Yeah, he does. And, yeah, I'm all with that. Listen, business is business. You do what you got to do. But to the point you made, Brent, Trevor Lawrence, all accounts, all-world guy, I bet he'd take care of the kids, right? Just knowing what I know about Trevor. If you don't want to sign for Casey, right, with his 8 mini helmets, I'm with you, right? I don't even want to be there either because I feel like a bad person doing it. So, listen, I'm with that. But to your point, you got to take care of the kids. At a minimum, pop some selfies and, Gardner, whatever happened there. But, take care of the kids at least. Again, you're making memories.
And I will say this, too, and I do know this, and this is why you got to be a little careful of it. You kind of say, oh, why not? It's the guy, like he's a jerk or this or that. It's never the guy. Like, that guy would sign. Mm-hmm. It's always the guy's guy.
True.
That's putting the stop sign up.
Yeah,
because he sees dollars and is like, oh, wait a minute now. That's what he's seeing. And so it's never, I would say it's very unusual to be the player in those situations.
Yeah.
But more so like their team of people that are trying to protect an asset, quite frankly.
And just there's a video right now, just since we're on this, and this was never going to come up anyway. So if you're on Twitter right now and you see the video floating around of Mike Trout not signing for the two kids, you might come across that video that has like 800 views. All I'm going to say is I know the guy that took the video. I know whose kids those were. If you saw it, don't leave hate for Mike Trout. I'm going to leave it at that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, it is presented horribly for Mike Trout. Like, it looks bad. But if you start to do the details on what's happening and where this video's taken and knowing some background on it, I'll just say Mike Trout's a good dude. I know that video's around. I've had many people send it to me. Just
interesting.
Yeah.
And Trout smart enough to know what was going on there, probably?
Yeah, he knew.
Yeah,
he definitely.
So, and by the way, Trout's like all-world guy too, isn't he?
He's great. Yeah. I love him.
Yeah. So, and I feel bad for the guys that get put in tough spots sometimes, but we also love when people come out to the shows, and you love to be able to get some autographs and pictures and be a part of it. And I guess the long answer here is yes. Come out to Strings on Thursdays. Come out to Sneakers on Mondays, and you'll be able to hang out a little bit with the players. Usually get autographs, pictures. As well, and be on TV.
There you go. It's the best part. And you might be able to get an autograph from Brent Martineau as well. Also,
I did sign a couple yesterday. Yeah.
No, you didn't.
I did. I tell them all the time. I'm like, you don't want this on there.
No, you don't.
But then they insisted. So
there's going to be team balls floating around with Martineau on them. That's going to be incredible.
Larry Bird. Hey, we were talking about schedules. I don't want to neglect the Gators moved their game to Sunday.
They did.
So they instead of playing noon Saturday, they play Sunday, and I'm sure Gator fans know that by now. But if you're just jumping in, I want to make sure as we get some of these new changes that the Gators are on Sunday. They announced that today. Florida State has not said anything different, right, Casey?
Not that I've seen yet. I think we'll get some more details on that as we go along. But right now, it looks like it's still on and on time. And I also want to throw out there, Brent, why is Aaron Schachter in the YouTube chat? If you got time to chat, Schachter, come on the You're supposed to be here right now. You have questions to answer about Tua. Oh, he's here. He just walked through the door right now. I was just yelling about you. Yeah. Sorry.
Brent and Friends will be back on ESPN 690. That was a great moment. Hey, let me tell you this about Fields Auto Group. Buying or leasing a car in Jacksonville is the best with Fields Auto Group. Jacksonville's luxury auto group. Lexus of Jacksonville and Orange Park. They've got Mercedes-Benz in Jacksonville, Orange Park. Jaguar Land Rover, Jacksonville. Porsche, Jacksonville. Fields Cadillac in Jacksonville and St. Augustine. If the luxury car you want isn't in stock, Fields Auto Group will order it. Stop by a Field store today and see what world-class service really means. My wife has done it. She leases a car from Fields Cadillac, and that means she is part of the Fields Matters Amenities program, valet service, complimentary loaner cars. We were just talking about it today. She's used that a couple times in the past and loved it. Complimentary car washes, gourmet cafes serving breakfast and lunch, gourmet coffee bars. I like that. Senior and military discounts. It's world-class service at Fields Auto Group, Jacksonville's luxury auto group. Fields is a proud sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars. FieldsAuto.com.
ESPN 690 pays your bills.
Are you kidding me?
You've got 5 chances to win $1,000 every weekday at 8 a.m., 10, noon, 2, and 5 p.m. This is a nationwide contest. Message and data rates apply. Complete rules at ESPN690.com. ESPN 690 pays your bills on ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Get in the game at Best Bet. Come experience the best in card games, hospitality, and fun at Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine. You don't have to be a poker pro to have an exciting time. Featuring card games of all limits and easy-to-learn games like Ultimate Texas Hold'em, 3-card poker, and Pai Gow. Wager on exciting simulcast races and enjoy delicious food and drinks. Our card rooms are open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 4 a.m. and 24 hours on Saturday and Sunday. Details at bestbetjacks.com.
It's time for the Northeast Florida Fall Boat Show. One weekend only, October 15th and 16th at the J-Tech Institute in Jacksonville's Southside. Boatloads of deals on all the latest boats and accessories. Fishing boats, cruisers, ski boats, pontoons, and personal watercraft from trusted dealers. Vendors, kids' activities, food, and fun. The Northeast Florida Boat Show, presented by ViStar Credit Union. Tickets and details at boatjacks.com. That's boatjacks.com.
Ready to swoop in the fall of 2022? The UNF Ospreys are ready with a lot of momentum on campus. New improvements at UNF Arena with basketball season right around the corner and tickets already on sale. The fall schedule underway in volleyball and men's and women's soccer, also men's and women's cross country. Get the latest news, schedules, results, and information on tickets for all things Ospreys at UNFOspreys.com. Join the Osprey Club, attend a game or a match. Be a part of the momentum at the University of North Florida right now at UNFOspreys.com.
When Smart Tools give you control, you own it. When you're confident in your decisions, you own it. When you're sure someone's got your back, you own it. At Community First Credit Union, you can own it all. With free digital banking, fewer fees, and a team that's ready to help, you're in control of your money so you can live your life your way. Go ahead and own it. Add an account today at justbeyourself.com. Community First Credit Union, federally by NCUA.
For seniors, staying healthy can be complicated, but one of the easiest routes to good health is prevention. No matter what our community's current COVID-19 infection rates are, getting your booster shot now is a smart way to protect yourself from severe illness later. ElderSource encourages people 65 and up to get a safe, free COVID-19 booster. For more information, visit myeldersource.org or call the ElderSource helpline at 888-242-4464.
September is here and fall is right around the corner, so they say. But you know what else is right around the corner? Your family-owned and operated dealer, Arlington Toyota. Right now, Arlington's got 500 new Toyotas available, and you get a lifetime warranty with unlimited time and miles with your new Toyota purchase. Arlington's even got 400 used ready to test drive and take home today. And Arlington's 30-day exchange program comes with your purchase. That's 30 days to love your purchase or exchange it. Shop in person and online anytime at ArlingtonToyota.com.
Of all the multitudinous manifestations that water can take, in oceans and ice cubes, in glaciers and streams, vapors and rain, double black diamonds, lap swims, and brains. Of all that water everywhere, only 0.5% is fresh water available for human use. That's why at Moen, we're innovating to save 1 trillion gallons of water by 2030. Discover Mission Moen at Moen.com.
Mom, can we have some ice cream?
I've got a better idea. Who wants to help me make something fun and healthy instead?
Eating smarter is easy and delicious.
Interested in receiving healthy recipes and a whole lot more in your email? Then register at healthiestweightfl.com and learn more about all the small steps that you can take on the way to living healthy. This message is sponsored by the Ounce of Prevention Fund of Florida, the Florida Department of Health, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
Action Sports Jacks. Watch, listen, subscribe. You can watch us on CBS 47 and Fox 30. You can listen right here on ESPN 690, and you can subscribe to our YouTube and podcast, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Action Sports Jacks. Watch, listen, subscribe.
I'd probably go with Jalen Hurts only because the expectations were so much higher for Tua, and I realize most people know what I'm about to say, but they competed for the starting job at Alabama. That's how closely attached these two guys are, and then Jalen finally departed to go to Oklahoma for his senior year. So I expected Tua to have a big year. He was a first-round pick. Jalen, there was always some doubt about him. So, I mean, the fact that he is playing at this level, I'd probably give him a slight edge, although Tua's story is pretty legendary this year.
That's Paul Feinbaum, and just homer up Paul Feinbaum. Anybody who played the SEC, of course I knew he was going to do well this year. Get out of here, Feinbaum. Brent Martineau along with Casey Kurtz, and is Aaron Schachter there as well? I'm live from Davoli's House of Cards. Brent and Friends on ESPN 690, and we got some Tua questions for Aaron Schachter, don't we, Casey?
Answer them up, Aaron. What's going on in me?
Let's go, man. First of all, I need to ask because I realize you guys aren't numbers guys. You're more like Neanderthal kind of guys. You just like to look at stuff and drool a little bit. Did you check the stats on that Miami game against Buffalo? Did you guys happen to peek at what a juggernaut of an offense Tua is running in Miami?
No, I saw the important stat, which had a W.
Okay.
They ate a W.
Just checking. Here's the thing. First of all, does anybody ask out of a game more than Tyreek Hill? This guy is on the sideline like every fourth play.
Hey, he's got to catch some wind.
He's like the fastest guy in the NFL. This guy is on the sideline every game. I don't understand what's happening. Seriously, he needs like oxygen or something. And poor Jalen Waddle. If he runs a 20-yard route, he has to run 40 yards because he's coming back 20 to catch the pass, and then he's running downfield. It's ridiculous.
You're wild.
They have to get these kids a real quarterback. The Dolphins could be a real contender.
They are.
Contender.
They're 3-0.
I'm telling you, it's fraudulent.
Really? They beat the Buffalo Bills.
The Broncos are fraudulent.
The Broncos are fraudulent, by the way.
I agree with that.
And the Dolphins are better than the Broncos. Fine, if you need to hear it, fine. The Dolphins are better than the Broncos. I'm just saying.
You know, it's crazy.
Tua is not the guy.
You know, I saw a stat today, like the Bills ran 85 plays. Like we thought the Jags ran a lot with 75
yes.
They ran 85 plays. The last team to like hold the ball for 40 minutes and run like I think it was 85 plays was actually the Jags did it in a loss.
Wow.
And Mark Brunell, like way back in the day, I think it was 96 or something, if I saw that stat right, which is just a wild statistic.
It's pretty wild.
Right?
But like the whole game was like, I think the Dolphins punted like 5 or 6 times. The Bills punted once. How did they lose that game?
I don't know. Like, I did not watch the game front to back. I was peeking in on it from L.A.
It was awful.
And watching kind of like the red zone-y stuff and a little bit of everything. So I wasn't locked in. But how did they, from a statistical standpoint, how did they lose? They didn't even turn it over a lot. It was one turnover.
Yeah, it was
and
just
Miami even had a butt punt.
It was a weird, slow game.
Punt, yeah.
It was a weird, slow game. Miami should have lost that game like twice. And I'm watching I'm watching Waddle. I'm like, this guy might be, maybe not this year, but might be within the next couple of years, like a top 3 or 5 wide receiver.
Oh, he's there.
He's untouchable. He catches everything. He breaks tackles. He's wide open, like everything.
And then he waddles when he scores.
It's amazing. The whole stadium waddles.
It's
great.
incredible.
As much as I hate the Dolphins, I enjoy watching Waddle.
That is a cool deal, right? Once you get cooking with a name like that, you have a celebration
the
like
branding,
that.
Are you kidding me?
He's going to be turned into Justin Jefferson.
Yeah,
what's going to happen?
He's going to get a pet penguin somehow.
And he's in a better market for it.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
Not
it's
penguins.
just a little cooler being Miami.
Yeah, but you can picture him wearing a big penguin chain, too, made out of diamonds and stuff. Like, the whole thing is just, it smacks of great branding.
I mean, hang around if you can, Aaron. But, I mean, we're going to get to a break, but we're going around the NFL. And the question is, like, how did they let Tua back in that game? Like, that is just, you can't scream player safety.
Yeah.
I said, when I saw that video, I was like, the NFL has to call Miami at halftime and say, do not put him back in the game.
What are you doing? Yeah.
Well, but before they even put him in, they should have said, You better not. I don't care if he's fine. That looked so bad, don't put him back in the game.
I wouldn't be able
player safety and do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't believe that they would need to make that call. If you're Miami, you're talking about what's supposed to be your franchise quarterback. You tried to trade twice and replace, but you're not putting him back in the game when he's barely walking straight.
Everything's a shot.
I'm just saying the franchise is an embarrassment. Oh my God.
Yeah, right. Speaking of embarrassments, the Jets played on Sunday.
Hey, let's not get off the point here. Let's not get off the topic. Isn't it break time? Look, Brent's late.
It is.
I moved some stuff around just so we could do this.
Brent's
but
totally late right now.
Yeah, he
I
is.
know. I was trying to get out on time, but then Aaron joined the fray. Good to see you. Good to hear from you.
I miss you guys so much, man. I've been doing such boring stuff.
But it's important stuff.
Do you hear the energy I'm bringing into this room right now? It's like the first time I've been allowed to play in like 24 or 48 hours.
Come back and visit. We're here until 6. We'll be back live from Davoli's House of Cards. Brent and friends, that's Aaron Schachter. Maybe he'll stop back in. Casey Kurtz, Brent Martineau. We do go around the NFL, and I want to stay on the organizations for Tua and Herbert. Are they being careless? And then we'll go around the other big stories in the NFL as well. That's coming up next on ESPN 690. Hey.
Monitoring your security system. Do you even know? What if I told you were being monitored in someone's house? Can you imagine someone working from home with all your information? Your family's security is dependent on how fast a worker responds to your alarm from their house. Unbelievable, right? Think again, because the largest company in America is doing just that. And pay attention to their ads. They now have teamed up with big tech. There goes your information and privacy. Plus, you're possibly being monitored from someone's home. Now you know why I have a Safe Touch home security system. The Safe Touch Monitoring Center is right here and fully staffed at their disaster-resistant monitoring station. Have you driven by the other guy's monitoring center? Don't bother. It's empty. Call now and find out what makes the Safe Touch 5-star security and surveillance system so outstanding, and right now get free installation. Don't just assume your family is safe. Know they are safe with Safe Touch Security. Call 888-723-8682 or visit safetouch.com. State license EF233.
Buying or leasing a car in Jacksonville is the best with Fields Auto Group, Jacksonville's luxury auto group. Lexus of Jacksonville and Orange Park, Mercedes-Benz of Jacksonville, Orange Park, Jaguar Land Rover, Jacksonville, Porsche, Jacksonville, Fields Cadillac, Jacksonville, and St. Augustine. If the luxury car you want isn't in stock, Fields Auto Group will order it. And at Fields, you'll never be charged over sticker price. Stop by a Fields store today and see what world-class service really means. Fields is a proud sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Fields Auto Group, fieldsauto.com.
As Hurricane Ian approaches Florida, now is the time to prepare.
Let me show you just how far away the center is going.
Action News Jack's chief meteorologist Mike Burrish on guard with the First Alert Weather Team.
We will track what's going on inside the storm.
Ready to prepare and protect you with the area's most accurate, all-certified weather team.
Here's what you can expect where you live, county by county.
As we keep our eye on Ian, keep your eye on us. Action News Jack's First Alert Weather, on air and streaming 24/7.
Hey, do you like beer?
Yeah.
What about great food and lederhosen? Then you're going to love the 3rd annual Oktoberfest at Kingmaker Brewing in Riverside. Sponsored by 1-to-1 Financial Credit Union. Kingmaker has the only Oktoberfest in Jacksonville that spans 2 whole weekends.
Right.
September 22nd to October 2nd. That's 10 days of good food, great beer, and amazing local businesses. Learn more or grab VIP tickets at kingmakerbrewing.com. Oktoberfest, September 22nd to October 2nd. Kingmaker in Riverside. Brought to you by Jacksonville's hometown credit union, 1-to-1 Financial. Duncan.
September is here and fall is right around the corner, so they say. But you know what else is right around the corner? Your family-owned and operated dealer, Arlington Toyota. Right now, Arlington's got 500 new Toyotas available, and you get a lifetime warranty with unlimited time and miles with your new Toyota purchase. Arlington's even got 400 used ready to test drive and take home today. And Arlington's 30-day exchange program comes with your purchase. That's 30 days to love your purchase or exchange it. Shop in person and online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com.
What's up? It's Casey. Check out the podcast Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690, wherever you get your podcasts.
ESPN 690 pays your bills.
Are you kidding me?
You've got 5 chances to win $1,000 every weekday at 8 a.m., 10, noon, 2, and 5 p.m. This is a nationwide contest message and data rates apply. Complete rules at ESPN690.com. ESPN 690 pays your bills on ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Casting live from the ESPN 690 Anna Jar and Levine studios. Anna Jar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Giants leading receiver Sterling Shepard will miss the remainder of the season with a torn ACL suffered in last night's loss to Dallas. Cowboys starting quarterback Dak Prescott, inching closer to a return, had surgery to remove stitches on his injured right thumb, told ESPN's Lisa Salters he could be back in a couple of weeks and is not ruling out this Sunday's game against Washington as a possible return. First Take host, Stephen A. Smith.
When Dak is ready, you play Dak. Now, you don't rush him back. You make sure he's 100% if you win a football game. But we know Cooper Rush ain't no damn Dak Prescott. Let's not get that twisted. We understand that that's not the case.
Stephen A. on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Dak's return to action is predicated on his grip strength. An independent accountability resolution process hearing panel concluded that Memphis basketball coach Penny Hardaway did not violate any NCAA rules when he provided benefits to 3 prospective student athletes because of his long-standing charitable actions in Memphis. The Tigers were placed on 3 years probation and fine, but did not receive a postseason ban. The benefits were provided in 2017 before Hardaway became Memphis's head coach.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
The bottom line is he was the 6th overall pick in the draft. He's not the future. The Giants are going to move on from him this year. He's a very, very good backup in the league, it looks like to me.
This and more, Wednesday morning at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
ESPN 690 and Action Sports Shacks presents Brent and Friends with Brett Martineau.
We're going to have to show a little more patience than the year 2 pom-pom people.
Casey Kurtz.
Yo! But what are we doing, bro? Come on!
And Aaron Schachter.
I'm all in favor of these two showing their love, really celebrating their relationship.
Get him! Get him! Get him! Hit him! Hit him! Yeah! This is Brent and Friends with Brett Martineau, Casey Kurtz, and Aaron Schachter on Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio, ESPN 690.
Hey, welcome back to Davoli's House of Cards. Brett Martineau along with Casey Kurtz here on a Tuesday. We come down to St. Johns County each and every Tuesday, 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. Davoli's House of Cards, and sometimes Casey, sometimes Aaron join as well. We've got our fantasy card breaks going on too.
How we doing?
I don't know. I didn't see.
We didn't know. We didn't do well.
Davoli must be busy this week. I haven't seen like an email with the stats up.
No, we didn't do well.
They got like a website they're building and everything. I mean, it's getting bigger and better.
Yeah, we lost for sure.
We didn't do well.
No.
Yeah, we had like an okay team. Like at least we could fill our spots. And how this works, especially with the Prism card break, you get 24 cards in that box.
Yeah.
And you got to create your team, and you need 8 people on your team. So quarterback, running back, tight end, receiver, 3 flex, and a super flex. So we had 2 quarterbacks. So what did we have? We had Burrow and Mac, or Burrow and Tua?
We had Mac.
We had Mac, okay, because I do 2 different ones. One I do with Ty. It's a different price point. And those you get a lot more players because it's 60-card box.
Yeah.
And I think I had Tua and Burrow in that one. But even like that, like we have good players 2 weeks in a row and just did okay. So that's all right. We're not going to win every week, Casey, but we're going to play every week.
Yeah, we need. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm fiending, bro. We need our team this week. Like, who are the boys? Are they going to be any good? By the way, what a week it would be to get like a Khalil Herbert card. We got to make sure he's in there because he ran for like $175 for the Bears. You know what I'm saying? So like, I need to know the team before 6 o'clock. So even if Davoli doesn't show up, just leave the money on the counter and get a box.
Okay, definitely will do it. You got to get involved. By the way, I told you. This is fun. Like, if you like fantasy football, that's one thing, right? If you like to put a little something on something, that's another part of this. If you like to collect cards, that's another part of this. So, and you do it weekly if you want. All you got to do is come down to Davoli's House of Cards. For now, sooner or later, there'll be a website that'll make it even easier. But come down, visit the store here in St. Johns County, and play against us and play against others and win prizes. So that's fun. You can also call the shop here at Davoli's House of Cards, and Mark and company will get you set up if you want to get in the fantasy card breaks each and every week. What happens is it shuts out on Thursday afternoon. So you got to get in by Thursday. And we close this week probably because of the hurricane? Maybe? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, not sure yet. So maybe get it in by tomorrow.
Then we definitely – there might only be like 3 people in, Brant. We can do this.
Well, we don't want 3 people in. We want the cash prize to be a little bigger.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Well, come get in, people.
Yeah, we want more people in.
And then pick a good box, Brent. They got like 8,000 of them, so pick a good one.
Get a little lucky. So anyway, that's Davoli's House of Cards. Check it out. We'll keep telling you about it too, but it's really it's a lot of fun. It's a great idea and a twist on fantasy football. It's awesome to check it out. So you can do that here at Davoli's House of Cards. Hey, this major question. And it was really interesting. Justin Herbert, who played in the game, okay, that's one thing, but was still playing in the game in the fourth quarter of a blowout, even though he's dealing with these rib cartilage problems. And they pressed Brandon Staley about that in the postgame. Like, it was like 7 straight questions about it.
They should have.
And now you bring up the Tua situation. And listen, every player is going to say, I can play. Every player. And you have to respect their opinion, especially leaders of football teams. We'll go all the way back to Ramsey got into it with Doug Marrone because he wanted the challenge, and they didn't throw the challenge. And that set off, like, everything.
Yes.
Like, that was the final deal. It wasn't necessarily Marrone is what Ramsey said, all right, trade me. But that set off the fireworks, remember. Mm-hmm. So you have to respect your players. And I'm not saying give them what you want or what they want, but you have to acknowledge what they want. And handle that. So I understand. Tua probably like, hey, I'm good. I don't care what Tua said for his well-being. And again, for the shield, for the NFL that preaches player safety. And I think they have done a really good job of player safety, at least focusing on it and some of the things that they do to take care of it. I do think it means something. But you can't say that and then watch a guy stumble back to the huddle after hitting the back of his head.
Mm-hmm.
And put him back in the game in that game. Because I can tell you, I've covered concussions enough to know that at a very novice level. I'm not an expert. But the second one, Casey,
is the one.
The second one is the one. Like the second one, if you don't get recovered from it and you go out and get a second concussion because they didn't catch the first one or because you came back too soon, that is a damaging one. And like very damaging in some cases.
Mm-hmm.
So that is fact. And we know enough about concussions over the last decade that we've covered the story so much at the high school level, collegiate level, NFL level, that I know that. Like, that is a proven thing. And so that's all I think about when I see something like that. I'm like, don't put him back in the game, even if he feels right. Like, you can come back, too, off a concussion and be like, I mean, we've seen guys do it coming off the field. I have seen players look wobbly. They get to the sideline before a trainer can get them, and they go back in. Because the trainer didn't see it or nobody acknowledged it. Well, that's why they have the eye in the sky now, to help that cause in case somebody misses it on the sideline.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to physically take the helmet away from a player. Like Paul Posluszny, they had to take his helmet and hide it from him on the sideline one time. And by the way, they should. These guys, you want them to live like healthy lives and have a life after football.
Certainly.
And they play a violent game, and you should protect that. I could not believe that we saw Tua go in, and I don't buy for a second it was a back. Like, we've seen people be wobbly, Casey. We've seen that scene before.
Mm-hmm.
And that wasn't a back spasm.
Didn't look like it. Did not look like it. Yeah, I think it's a crazy thing, like, if you're the coach and balancing that, but there is no balance when you have an injury. Like, that's something that needs to get checked. I think that whatever's happening with the NFLPA, I know there was some investigation going on, whatever they find, but it's definitely something worth investigating because we've got cameras everywhere now. So you can see these things even if, like to your point, somebody may miss it on the sidelines. But guess what? If you're watching the game on TV, you've seen it from the front, the above, the behind, every angle because they have it, and he's the quarterback, so they have the camera on him no matter what. So to your point, yeah, like that he shouldn't have been back in the game.
It's irresponsible.
It's extremely irresponsible for the player. And then on the flip side with Justin Herbert, I've said this a few times. I said it on OT. I said it on the pregame show. I'll say it again. I do not think Brandon Staley's a good coach. I think he's overvalued. I don't understand why he's still the coach of their team. So with that being said, I just think it was another very poor decision by a very poor coach in my mind. But I don't know why you would have him out there, especially when you're down all those points. And the literal only thing that could happen was get him more hurt.
Yeah, the deal with Herbert, by the way, is he said he wanted to be out there for his team. It's like a tough guy thing, Like, I don't want to quit on my team. I get it. I respect it. But there's not one person in that locker room that would say, I can't believe he wasn't in the game at the end. I was still out there.
Exactly.
They don't say that. Not when the guy's got an injury and he hardly played and he didn't know until, like, kickoff that he was going to play. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, you've got to be the adult in the situation, and you have plenty of them in the organization. Last I checked, I feel like there's 400 coaches on NFL teams. I mean, somebody make a decision and say, listen, I appreciate it. You're not quitting. You're actually helping. Like, you're helping yourself and the team because we need you down the road. Instead, if Josh Allen pile drives you into the turf when you're up 30 or down 38-10, you could be gone for the next month.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they've got to step in. Like, I don't know. I do feel like the 201 was even more irresponsible because at least with Herbert out there, you could, like, run the ball, right? You can get it out of his hands. He's probably not going to make any, like, careless decisions in terms of, like, trying to jump for a first down or something,
Yeah, and
so,
again, a serious injury for Herbert, to your point. But, it's not – you're not dealing with the brain or, like, the heart, like, things that you have to have healthy for the rest of your life in terms of Tua, where you're dealing with the brain. And it impacts to your brain will, to your point you made already, really mess up the rest of your life in a negative way.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I relate this to Jacksonville. Like, if that happened to Trevor, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're in a big game. The Dolphins were in a big game. That was a big game.
They were.
So let's just say that it happens to Trevor, one of these situations, in a blowout fashion. I'd be like, get him out of there. I think everybody in the stadium, everybody in the press box, everybody on their couch watching TV would be like, get him out of there. Like, no. The Herbert situation, I think it would, if you took a poll in L.A. and Chargers fans, 99% would have said, get him out of there. Like, the fans are smart enough to know. The Tua situation, I think sometimes fans, because they are so emotional, would be like, I don't care, just get him back in there. If we win the game, we win the game. Like, are Dolphins fans mad at this situation?
Probably
they won
not.
the game.
No.
Like, so that's a little different, but it doesn't matter. I don't care if you make the fans mad in this situation. I think of it more from, like, these players, like, from a parent standpoint, their wives, their kids. Like, you have to make that decision for my son, my husband, my dad,
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's your job, like, to help make that decision. So when he comes home tonight and for the next 50 years, things are all right, and we don't point back to this situation. And I know that sounds dramatic, but like Casey just said, man, we're talking about the head, the brain. Like, we know it's a serious thing. We have learned enough over the years. It's a serious thing. And so the irresponsible nature of both situations, one magnified, in my opinion. And I don't know what the NFL is going to find. And now, Casey, isn't the story, like, on a short week that Tua might not play, and it's because of the back?
Yes, yeah, that's kind of the situation, because they are playing Thursday night. That they are weighing that situation. So yeah, there's a chance Tua doesn't play because of the so-called back injury. But I don't really know what to make of it, to be honest with you. It feels like a cover-up. Like, it feels like, hey, we made a mistake, we're going to make it right type thing. Like, that's how I'm looking at it. He might seriously have a back problem, which Tua's had a lot of injuries. So if it was true, okay, I'm obviously not mad at it. But the way that they've presented the whole thing, from what happened on the field to all of a sudden, but now he can't play even though he went back in and played at the time, it doesn't fully add up. I don't get it, but it kind of just feels like do what you have to do because you made the wrong decision once.
Yeah, it does have the sense of whether they've talked to the NFL or not. It's like, okay, if it's a back injury, then make sure it's a significant back injury to the point where he can't play on Thursday night.
Right.
Like, it has the feel of it. And by the way, it's a Miami Dolphins organization that just went through, a few things the last couple of years.
Yeah, more than a few. Yeah, that's a good point.
And that's unfair to Mike McDaniel, new coach, but bottom line is they did go through a few things the last couple of years.
They did.
So I would do things even more right if I'm Miami, given that situation.
Yeah, and I mean, just to the football point of it, like, this isn't, for me, a Chase Daniel situation. I guess we are going to keep talking about him. Like, you got Teddy Two Gloves, right? Capable.
True.
So,
I thought they were fine when Teddy went in the game. Like, I was like, okay, they'll be all right.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
This is the best duo, like, Teddy's ever thrown to.
Again, right? And, that's the thing with that team. You just got to put it in the vicinity of those two guys, and they're going to make plays. And you have a Tyreek Hill, who I should have pulled the sound, but I will later in the week, is very excited to play against Eli Apple. I don't know if you saw that. So
I saw the headline. I didn't hear the actual words.
Yeah.
But I did see, like, what they were saying. All right. Well, probably longer on that topic. I think it's a big topic, and you just hope if the Jags get in that similar situation, I hope they handle it right. And I think they could handle it better than both those teams did.
Yeah.
And bigger than everything, I hope both those guys are all right. They're good players. They're young players. They're important to the league, important to their teams. And so hopefully, whatever it is, especially with Tua, that he comes back. He's playing really good football at the moment. So let's continue to go around the league, and let's do our one line about the games, Casey.
Let's do it.
Let's start. I'm just going to go right down the list. Texans and the Bears, 23-20. Chicago gets it done. What's your takeaway from the game?
This is a long one. I know it's supposed to be quick. Somebody that knows anything about coaching quarterbacks needs to be hired by the Chicago Bears as soon as possible.
They are ruining Fields like many people thought.
Well, that's what I said, but just shorter. Good one. Way to condense what I said. But it's the same point. Holy cow. He's not that bad, Brent. He cannot be that bad.
I agree with you, man. And I would have been fine with the Jags getting. I just look
Same.
at right now, and you see what Doug Peterson's doing with Trevor. And by the way, I do think Trevor's more talented than Justin Fields. But what would Doug Peterson be doing with Justin Fields?
Right.
Now, what is their roster good enough? That's questionable too in spots. But they're also putting him in I just don't think the greatest of positions.
No, it's a horrible position, and there's a lot there, and I don't get it because he's way too talented to be missing throws the way that he is. I don't understand fully why they're not all in on the guy. They traded up to get him, and then they've really done him no favors. And it's the feel of they're going to move on 2 years in, which is wild to me. I think he's so talented. I think it'd be a huge mistake.
By the way, Eberflus took the job, man. You wouldn't take the job if you didn't believe in him.
I know.
And so if you took the job, then go put stuff around him. I think I saw the Chicago Bears have $100 million in cap space.
Yeah.
$100 million? We're in year 2 of Justin Fields. They should have spent that. Not all of it, but they should spend some of it.
Yeah,
especially you should not have $100 million left in cap space.
No, you shouldn't, especially when, the problem, you say, offensive line. Well, I'm pretty sure Armstead was available, and he's a pretty good tackle. Right? There's all the wide receivers were available, except Allen Robinson because he didn't want to come back. But, you could have paid somebody with all that money. I don't understand what's going on there fully.
All right, we're going to have to go quicker than that last one.
We are.
That was a good conversation anyway. Titans, Raiders.
Holy yikes, Raiders.
Yeah, I'm going to repeat myself. The Raiders stink.
They do.
That's it.
They really do.
Stink.
I don't know what it is either.
That was a waste of an offseason.
Yep.
That's what I should have said. Colts beat the Chiefs 20-17.
Come on, Chiefs.
Well, it's kind of going the same way. Colts still are not good.
Agreed.
Don't be fooled. Colts are not that good.
Did you see Mahomes getting into it with the enemy on the sideline?
I did. Did you see? Actually, maybe bigger than that. Who was it? Shady McCoy?
Yes.
See his comment?
Yes, I did.
Wow. Now you're starting. Maybe.
Now it's adding up.
Does that answer some of the questions? Because if players are saying that about him, that's not a ringing endorsement.
Yeah.
Lions, Vikings.
I like the Lions. I know they lost, but I like the Lions.
No, they're lovable Lions and losers still. You've got to win that game. You're up 2 touchdowns, man.
I know.
Ravens, Patriots.
Ravens are scary.
Lamar is him.
Yeah, he is.
I love stealing your line.
It's a good one.
He's going to get paid a lot of money, man.
So much. All of
it.
it.
Amazing. And that's against Belichick.
All of it, by the way, is not enough for Lamar.
Bengals and Jets.
Joey Burr is back.
Still mine, so I don't want to go there.
All right, I'll give you another one. T. Higgins might be as good or better than Jamar Chase.
Oh.
T. Higgins is good.
That almost sounds outlandish, but I was going to say sign me up for Sauce and Chase a couple of times a year would be good.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
That'd be good. That's a good little battle there.
Mm-hmm.
And Sauce Gardner played well. Eagles, Commanders.
That's what the number one team in the power rankings looks like.
Yeah.
Not the Commanders.
Get all the blowouts out of the way now, please.
True.
Panthers, Saints.
Just bad football.
That's so bad. The Saints are not as good as I thought.
No.
Rams, Cardinals.
Rams getting better. Cardinals, ugh.
Cardinals paid too soon.
Yeah.
Falcons, Seahawks.
Falcons are sneaky okay if they could figure out how to win.
Can you please throw it to Kyle Pitts more?
That's a good one.
Especially in the end zone. Packers, Bucks.
Neither team reaches NFC Championship.
Bucks offense isn't that good, but they were missing like every wide receiver.
Yeah, most of them.
49ers, Broncos.
Ugly football.
I expected prettier than that from Jimmy G.
Yep.
Cowboys, Giants.
Shout out to NFL for putting 2 horrible games back-to-back in prime time.
Cooper Rush.
Oh, no.
Is pretty good.
He's just good enough to get paid a lot of money by somebody in the offseason.
Yeah, like he's pretty good. Like, listen, CeeDee Lamb screwed him. He should have been better. Then
Yes.
CeeDee Lamb helped him.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Cooper Rush was 21 of 31, 215, touchdown. And, he should have been like 22 of 31, 2-6. I mean, he did pretty good.
Yeah.
Did pretty good.
Saquon Barkley, though, is back.
I wanted to go Saquon there, and I would still say Ezekiel Elliott, the most overrated player in the NFL.
Yeah, you hate him.
I don't hate him, but the other guy's better.
Tony Pollard is better. Yeah.
Like, how can you be like this elite back when the other guy in the room is better?
Yeah, true. Yeah, I'll give you that. I think just off that, just the Giants, by the way, because we're not going to spend any more time on this, but the Giants are so confusing to me, right? You got Saquon, really good, and then you paid Kenny Golladay all that money. You don't throw it to him. He quits on the team. You come back, you throw it to him. He can't catch the ball, so cut him, right? And then, like, Kadarius Toney, nowhere to be found. Like, they do all these odd things. Daniel Jones makes plays. Like, I don't know the answers to these things. The Giants are so confusing because at times I'm like, they could be good. And then they do the stupid Giants stuff that they do all the time. And I'm like, oh, right, the Giants. Like, if I can't imagine, well, I can because Jags fan. But, like, Giants fans have to be so mad because, like, you can see it at times. It's like, and then it's like, oh, my goodness.
They're closer, but their offensive line is so bad.
Right.
And Daniel Jones is so inconsistent.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think they need to feed Barkley like all the time, and they don't get it to him enough.
Right, exactly. That's part of it too. Like run it all the time,
Or
throw it to
screens.
him.
I mean, him on a screen is like fun to watch. I think
Yes.
if you give him a screen, he's the most entertaining. That's the most entertaining play in football to me right now. Is if you give it to Saquon Barkley with a setup screen.
Yeah.
Because he is just, he's so strong and fast. Like he's explosive. Just jumps off the TV at you, you know?
Really does.
Which is kind of cool. But Pollard, man, Pollard is just better than Ezekiel Elliott. And I'm telling you this, I've told you this for 2 years, and I think the Cowboys have known it for 2 years. And I'm not saying Elliott is a bad player, but he is the most overrated player in the NFL. They don't need him.
They really don't.
Like the Cowboys have problems at times over the last couple of years.
Yes.
And that's not one of them. Like they don't need Ezekiel Elliott.
They really don't. Let me ask you this. Is there a situation in the near future where Dak's healthy and Ezekiel is healthy and the starting two are Cooper Rush and Tony Pollard? Could you see it?
Nah, because I still like Dak, man. I think Dak's a pretty good player.
But if he keeps winning, like if Cooper Rush keeps winning, again, the Giants, all right, you probably should beat the Giants. But like if he just
They're playing
keeps
Washington this week.
If he just keeps running off wins, what do you do? Like, and if you're McCarthy, you're like gonna get fired either way.
Yeah, but you get fired by playing Dak. because he's got $40 million under his contract.
True.
You know, so I mean, it's really not.
Let Dak play bad though. Let Dak play bad when he comes back.
Yeah, it would be something like if this guy rolls off a bunch of wins and then Dak.
Yeah.
Could it be a Brady Brady Bledsoe situation?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it could have that feel. They'd have to win a lot more, and they have some good pieces. The Cowboys, again, they're not like elite, especially with Cooper Rush, but they have some good pieces.
They goofed up on Amari Cooper, by the way.
Hey, you should have kept him, right?
Yeah, because Gallup still hasn't played, and they paid. Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
That was bad.
And it would have just made CeeDee Lamb that much better.
Yeah.
So, all right, we take a break. Brent and Friends on ESPN 690. We come back. We talk to a friend out in Tallahassee, Jeff Culhane, the voice of the Florida State Seminoles. Oh, this is a fun story. It's been a fun month for Florida State. And we're going to talk more about them, see what's up with that game coming up this weekend as well with Hurricane Ian. And we'll continue to keep you posted on some of the schedule changes that are happening around sports in the area and the state. We'll be right back live from Davoli's House of Cards on ESPN 690.
Now, the first alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly cloudy with a few scattered showers developing today, mainly south of I-10, but a lot of dry hours. Highs in the mid-80s, dropping to near 70 tonight. And tomorrow will be mostly cloudy, becoming breezy. Showers, a few thunderstorms gradually spreading toward the north with highs in the upper 70s. Impacts from Ian will be most direct and significant Thursday into Friday. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish. Join me today beginning at 5 p.m. on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where now you can buy like a dealer buys.
Hi, I'm Mike Holmes, professional contractor and TV host. I love helping people, but when it came to improving the water in my own home, I needed help and turned to the water experts at Connecticut to make it right. My water was causing visible problems throughout my home, and it got me thinking about the problems I couldn't see. Protecting my water-using appliances and pipes, preventing stains and hardness buildup, and having clean, great-tasting drinking water are all important to me. But choosing the right water treatment equipment can be tricky. That's where Connecticut comes in. A Connecticut water expert will test your water for free and recommend the system that fits your needs and budget. Improve the quality of your water and your life with the Connecticut water treatment system. I'm so glad I did.
This year, CGC Water Treatment is celebrating 75 years in business. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com for your free assessment. CGC Water Treatment are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars and your local independent Connecticut dealer.
Florida license number CFC 1428211.
I've been telling you about iCryo now for the last 6 months. Elevate your lifestyle and save while you do it. If you listen to ESPN 690, you can get a day pass to iCryo in St. Johns County for just $69. Tell them ESPN 690 sent you, and you can pick 3 of the 6 lifestyle services: whole body cryo, local cryo, compression, red light therapy, infrared sauna, cryofacial. Just has to be used all in one day, 3 out of 6 for $69. It's a heck of a deal for listening to ESPN 690 at iCryo.com.
This summer, the weather was brutal, but now it's fall, so you can finally get back out there, because fall is the new prime backyard season. Just grab a bag of Scott's Turf Builder Bonus S. It'll rid your lawn of dollarweed and clover, guaranteed or your money back, so you can enjoy your backyard longer than ever. Scott's, the best fall of all. It's in the bag. Grab a bag this weekend at your local retailer.
We're ready to deal. Best Bet St. Augustine is now open. Experience the best in poker, simulcast wagering, and fun card games for all levels at Best Bet St. Augustine. Best Bet's newest card room features 49 gaming tables, a state-of-the-art sports bar, delicious wings, a full-service bar, and freshly made sushi. Open from 10 a.m. to 4 a.m. Monday through Friday and 24 hours on the weekends. Best Bet St. Augustine is located at 800 Marketplace Drive, right off exit 311. For promotions, go to bestbetjax.com.
Buying or leasing a car in Jacksonville is the best with Fields Auto Group, Jacksonville's luxury auto group. Lexus of Jacksonville and Orange Park, Mercedes-Benz of Jacksonville, Orange Park, Jaguar Land Rover, Jacksonville, Porsche, Jacksonville, Fields Cadillac, Jacksonville, and St. Augustine. If the luxury car you want isn't in stock, Fields Auto Group will order it. And at Fields, you'll never be charged over sticker price. Stop by a Fields store today and see what world-class service really means. Fields is a proud sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Fields Auto Group, fieldsauto.com.
Dave Benyon here with Zero Res. Fall is my favorite time of year. It's cooling down outside, and it's perfect weather for cleaning carpets and tile. For September, get your 3 rooms of carpet cleaned for $129, and we'll clean a 4th room for free. Zero Res spelled forward or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
ESPN 690 is home for the Florida Sportsman Fishing Show hosted by Captain Rick Riles. Tune in every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. to find out what's biting now. Fishing so fresh, you can almost smell it.
Can I get the sales projections for the Springfield, Bristol, and Fair?
Val's Froyo Palace is dishing out 3 more locations.
Jody, have you lined up interviews?
They need 3 new store managers before they have a meltdown.
And remember, they need at least 5 years experience.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
At CDW, we get sometimes your teams have to be in 2 places at once.
Tell me about it. Our team lead needs to be at a wedding this weekend, but the big presentation is on Monday.
No need to panic. CDW experts can help you implement Citrix Workspace. It allows secure access to desktops from any device. Management is easy, and everyone in your office can stay close to their files and apps, even during the cha-cha slide.
Well, talk about having your cake.
And eating it, too. IT orchestration by CDW. People who get it. Find out more at cdw.com/Citrix.
My heart was racing just making spaghetti. I could have waited to tell my doctor, but I didn't wait.
I was short of breath just reading a book. I could have delayed telling my doctor, but I didn't wait.
They told their doctors and found out they have atrial fibrillation, a condition which makes it about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you have one or more of these symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness, this is no time to wait. Contact your doctor.
Brought to you by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Venture X from Capital One is the travel card for people always asking,
where next?
You earn 10x miles on hotels and rental cars, and 5x miles on flights booked through Capital One Travel, and 2x miles on everything else you buy with Venture X. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to 1,300 airport lounges. The Venture X card from Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
When Big Mobile charges you an arm and a leg, they're taking your money and your power. And your arm and leg. Boost Mobile gives your power back with an unlimited plan for $25 a month on one of America's largest 5G networks. We can't give you back your arm and your leg because we're not qualified surgeons. Unless you're an iguana who can grow limbs back. Switch to Boost and get an unlimited plan for $25 a month. Boost Mobile. Unleash your power. New customers only. One line, $25 per month with autopay. Additional restrictions apply. See boostmobile.com for details.
It's the Blitz Scoreboard Show every Friday night at 9 p.m. on ESPN 690. Join Brent Martineau, Casey Kurtz, and the Hall of Famer Kevin Sullivan for scores, analysis, interviews, and live video of games on the ESPN 690 social media platforms.
Here in Tallahassee, the boot beats the ball, and we are underway. It's Benson returnable. Far hash 10, 15, 20, has blockers, 25 to the 30. Benson, 30.
And that's a heck of a call by our buddy Jeff Culhane there, voice of the Florida State Seminoles. And, oh, what a start for the Seminoles. What a month of September. That's why I said, when's the last time the Noles have had a month like this? From recruiting the last couple of weeks and some of the big gets to on the field and being 4-0 and a sold-out Doak, which was electric on Saturday night. It's probably been a good 6 or 7 years. I think you probably have to go back to 2015 without looking it up. Let's bring in Jeff Culhane, the voice of the Florida State Seminoles right now on Brent and Friends on ESPN 690. We're live at Davoli's House of Cards in St. Johns County. Brent Martineau, Casey Kurtz, and Jeff. Hey, great call, man. What a way to kick off that game on Saturday night.
Yeah, if you needed a little juice or a little caffeine after a long day in the tailgate lot, Trey Benson got it done for you to start the night. I mean, that was certainly unexpected. That's why college football is beautiful, is you have to just expect the unexpected. And we've had a lot of that here in September with Florida State, with the way games have ended, the way games have begun, and Mike Norvell and company 4-0 and riding high right now.
Absolutely. Hey, listen, I can only anticipate and figure out what the vibe might be in Tallahassee right now. And as you walk around campus and talk to players and coaches and feel the student vibe a little bit, because we're experiencing it here in Jacksonville. Jaguars are 2-1. They look good. They haven't won a lot, especially recently. And so you can feel it in town. Is that kind of a similar sense in Tallahassee as you walk around, go to the grocery store, get ready for the hurricane, have some pizza, get a coffee, whatever it might be?
Yeah, Brent, 100%. I mean, I took my family down to Alligator Point, and we went to the Alligator Point Tiki bar to grab some appetizers and a drink on Sunday afternoon around 4 o'clock, and there were Knowles fans down there talking about the game and just fired up about what they saw and what ACC play would hold in the next couple of weeks. It's a big 3-week stretch for Florida State. We're going to find out a lot, about where this team is going to be come the bye week with Wake Forest this weekend here in Tallahassee, then at NC State for a night game at Carter Finley Stadium, and Clemson comes to town, which I would imagine has a great chance to be a night game as well, depending on how Florida State plays in these next two. So there's a huge buzz. It's palpable. Obviously, Hurricane Ian has really taken over the news cycle and the conversation piece, and rightly so, with the safety of everyone around the state and the path of the storm and how it's going to affect everyone, where it's going to hit. But people excited and looking forward to another Seminole game on Saturday afternoon.
Jeff Culhane with us, voice of the Florida State Seminoles. They're 4-0, and they do host Wake Forest on Saturday. And Jeff, give us the latest on that if you can. I just saw a quote from Dave Clawson, the Wake Forest coach, saying, hey, we'll wait on the ACC, but we're certainly not going to travel and put anybody in danger. I look at the forecast in the Tallahassee area, and I don't think it looks that bad, but there's a lot that goes into this. The state is going to be under this emergency, and almost everybody in the state is going to be affected, which therefore takes resources away from people that might work a football game, from police to emergency personnel to others. So what are they saying on campus in Tallahassee? Does this look like, at least for now, it's going to go on Saturday?
Well, what I can tell you right now, and by no means am I the official gatekeeper of if we're going to play or not, but as of right now, we're planning on playing. And there are going to be some things that are different, obviously, with some of the things going on around the stadium. It's obviously too bad that it's not normal weather and just a normal week and a normal weekend, but that's how it is this time of year in the state of Florida, because I think you would have another tremendous crowd in hand and tow for this game on Saturday afternoon. So, just the things that I've heard, Brent, and the things that, have been discussed around here, obviously everything is being taken into account. I mean, with this storm and with this hurricane and the destruction that it could cause potentially, you have to take everything into account, the safety of everyone, around the state, and in trying to get, people, as you talked about, essential workers and folks to Doak Campbell Stadium as much as you possibly can to have the event the way you want it to be held. But as we sit here and talk today, the plan is game on, 3:30 Saturday afternoon.
Jeff Culhane with us here on ESPN 690. Brent and Friends on a Tuesday. We're live from Davoli's House of Cards in St. Johns County. And we will see about the game. We'll keep everybody posted on the game, but I think you just explained it really well. And good luck to your family. This is your first hurricane, right?
Yeah. As a new guy in this part of the country, I'm used to some cooler storms, I guess is how I will put it. But, yeah, my wife obviously is one that wanted to make sure our boys were safe, as am I. And I went to a grocery store on Sunday morning to beef up on the essentials, and it felt like it was a scene out of Armageddon. So God bless everybody that employees at grocery stores and, and home, home warehouse places, office solution places, etc., gas stations, taking care of everybody and making sure that everyone has what they need right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, let's talk more football, though. The Noles are playing so well, and Jordan Travis is a huge part of it. What a story, a huge scare a couple of weeks ago. He comes back, and, I mean, all these numbers, the receiving core, if you look at, like, the Pro Football Focus college football numbers, I mean, are really strong right now for this offense, but especially what Jordan Travis has done. We talked about this before the season, Jeff. I mean, in the same offense for a third straight year, the respect that young man has. But I think now it's even elevated because he's playing really good football.
I think you hit it on the head, Brent. I mean, to start with the wide receiver core, right now Pro Football Focus has Florida State's receiver room as the number one rated group at that position in college football, ahead of Ohio State. Who would have thought that before the season started? I mean, that was a position group of concern coming into fall camp of 2022, along with some questions along the offensive line and certainly some questions about Jordan Travis, as we discussed. And I tell you what, everything you saw and everything you heard from Mike Norvell and Alex Atkins has come to fruition here from what Travis put on film in fall camp and practice and what we have seen from him in the first 4 games. And just his approach, Brent, last week, I think Tuesday there weren't a lot of people that thought he would play. And then just day by day, how he got himself ready for that game, physically and mentally. And you didn't know what he'd be able to do if he would be up to the challenge against Boston College. And he was that and then some with a career-high 321 yards passing, a career-high total offense in the game against BC. And he's just been fantastic. And he's known before the season as the career rushing leader for a quarterback in Florida State football history. Now he's taken his game to another level where he's distributing the football to so many different players and so many different names in this Florida State receiving corps. 4 games, 4 different wide receivers that have led FSU in receiving yards in these 4 contests. So he's really seeing things pre-snap. Boston College came after him with a bevy of blitzes, trying to get him on his heels and maybe put him in a tough spot and test that knee out. Not only did he see it, he eluded it at times, and he also delivered the ball on schedule and put receivers in great positions to make plays.
Yeah, I think Jordan Travis he's been incredible. And I said he was one of the most exciting players in the nation. He might be up there as the most exciting player to watch, at least for my money. Jeff, it's Casey, by the way. I want to ask you about this. Sam Hartman, I think the world of him coming into this game. I think he's a really good quarterback. A.T. Perry, I don't know if you've watched film yet, Jeff. He's a certified problem for Wake Forest. He's a really good player. So my question for you is FSU's gone up against Louisville and LSU quarterbacks that move around a lot. This guy can move, but he's really going to be slinging it around. How do you anticipate FSU's DBs holding up against this attack?
Yeah, Casey, it's the number one question, right? I mean, it's a quarterback in Sam Hartman who has gone through his own sort of adversity and his medical scare, having surgery to remove a blood clot in his shoulder back in early August, forced him to miss most of fall camp and miss a game. And this is a guy that's one of the best quarterbacks in all of college football. I mean, he runs their offense so well. It's a unique-looking offense with that slow mesh RPO zone read that they will have in the backfield, and that they utilize his vision of what's going on at the second and third level so well. And so defensively, you have to be so disciplined. The second that you peek into the backfield, you're toast with this receiving corps. And so you start with Hartman and his ability to deliver the football and push the ball down the field to this receiving corps. And like you said, A.T. Perry is a huge problem. I mean, this is a guy that got after Florida State last year in a game where, FSU probably didn't watch a whole lot of the game film from that contest in Winston-Salem when they turned it over 6 times, and Wake Forest held a time of possession of nearly 2-1 in that 35-14 win. So it's going to be a massive challenge. I go back to when you talk about receiving corps, I go back to LSU, and that was a big conversation piece leading up to the matchup in the Superdome with LSU's receivers led by Keyshawn Boutte. And I thought Florida State's defensive secondary was up to the challenge. I think it's one of the top position groups on this team. You've got a ton of experience. You've got a ton of depth and a lot of talent back there. They will definitely be challenged in so many ways. Right now, leading the ACC in defensive passing yards allowed per game right now in passing defense. So strength on strength in that category, and a fun matchup to follow and watch for 60 minutes on Saturday.
Yeah, that's a great point, by the way. Going back to that LSU game, now the biggest difference is the quarterbacks who are playing in this game versus maybe that LSU game, but it's still an astute point because the Noles have been really good in that respect. Hey, it's wide open in the ACC. That is one thing we know. We don't know who is the cream of the crop, but the Noles get a chance to find out over these next few weeks just exactly where they sit, and they get to do it with a lot of confidence in 2 of those games at home at the Doak. I got this final question for you. Jeff Culhane, voice of the Florida State Seminoles, new to the gig this year and doing a fantastic job. You can listen to him right here on ESPN 690. You know Florida State football, right? You know the logo, you know the program, you know the traditions, you know everything. When you got in that stadium and you felt it Saturday night like the way it's supposed to be, there's been some lean years. but from afar, did it match up with what you thought it might feel like and be like with an electricity in that stadium with all that tradition and history in Tallahassee? Was it like you thought?
Yeah, Brent, it exceeded my expectations. I mean, that opening kickoff was something I'll always remember, never forget. I mean, from the greatest pregame celebration and pregame moments with Osceola and Renegade with a full Doak Campbell Stadium, to the crescendo of the crowd noise when Osceola plants the spear, to when Trey Benson hit the 50-yard line, and just the electricity flowing through that stadium exceeded expectations in so many ways. And, we've been lucky to be at, some great places. You guys have been to Super Bowls and have covered Super Bowls in Jacksonville. And, I've been able to be at some big games, some big stadiums and moments around college football throughout my career. And to see what that environment was, it was something that I'll never forget, and was curious about how it was going to feel. And I think even for this football team as well, this is a team that hasn't felt that environment here in Tallahassee over the last how many years. And Mike Norvell and his coaching staff here at Florida State haven't had an atmosphere quite like that yet with COVID and some of the other things that have been just floating around, the lack of the wins that they want to go out and try and get and remedy that situation they have here early on in 2022. But to answer your question, it was amazing. Truly one of the great atmospheres I've ever been a part of in all of sports.
Well, hopefully you get it again throughout the rest of this season. This week maybe a little bit different because of the hurricane knocking on our door in the state of Florida, but maybe in a few weeks against Clemson we get a similar type of sight at Doak in Tallahassee. And you captured it well, man. Keep up the good work and stay undefeated, will you? Jeff Culhane, voice of the Florida State football team. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Brent, Casey, always good to talk to you guys, and all the best. Thinking of everybody out there that is in the path of this storm, and stay safe and do whatever you can to keep your loved ones safe as well. Thanks for having me, guys.
Appreciate it, man.
Thanks,
you too. That is Jeff Culhane. And by the way, as Jeff said, and right now the situation, that game is still on for Saturday. The Gators game got moved to Sunday at noon, but Tallahassee and where they are situated probably not as affected and impacted by the storm as maybe a place like Gainesville and some of the central parts of the state. We'll see if the game still will be played. They still have time to make a move on that. And Wake Forest has their eyes on it. Florida State has their eyes on it. And, of course, the ACC has its eyes on it as well. But as of now, still on for Saturday, and you can listen to Jeff on the broadcast, play-by-play man of Florida State Seminoles, and off to a nice start here in the month of September with the way the Noles are playing. Brett and Friends rolls on from Davoli's House of Cards on ESPN 690 right after this. But before we go to break, let me tell you a little bit about iCryo down here in St. Johns County. And if you need to recover from an athletic event or just from your daily lifestyle, make sure you visit iCryo in St. Johns County. That's what we do in my household. In fact, probably some of the family members be there tonight because they go a few times a week. You get the cryotherapy, the compression. You also get the red light therapy. And if you want to do some other things outside of the lifestyle services, they have IV infusions, they have body sculpting, and more. You can download the iCryo app. You can go to iCryo.com to see what iCryo in St. Johns County offers. And for listening to ESPN 690, we've got a heck of a deal for you. You can get a day pass for $69. Just tell them you listen to ESPN 690. We sent you. And a day pass for $69 will save you some money, but it also gets you 3 of the 6 lifestyle services. You have to use them all in one day, but that's a simple thing to do. Whole body cryo, local cryo, compression, red light therapy, sauna, cryofacial. Pick 3 of those, use them. It's just $69 when you mention ESPN 690 at iCryo in St. Johns County. Elevate your lifestyle.
See dealer for complete details. Ram Power Days. If it's not truck month, it should be. Sell us your old pickup and get a brand new Ram from Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Arlington. Bighorn, Classic, Laramie, and Limited. 4x2 and 4x4. We've got a great selection, and this is a great time to buy. Trade in and trade up. Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Arlington. 9600 Atlantic Boulevard across from the Regency Square Mall.
I can walk again. I can cross my legs again. I can wear heels again.
After years of living with chronic joint pain, Andrea Southard is now living a normal life, pain-free, thanks to natural biologic treatments at QC Kinetics.
We tried everything. And my husband had heard the commercial for QC Kinetics on the radio, and he told me to call him and check it out.
That phone call changed Andrea's life. QC Kinetics used powerful natural biologics to treat her aching joints. It's high-tech precision medicine that can restore and repair damaged joint tissue with no surgery and no drugs, providing lasting relief.
I felt like I was in my 20s again. I could tie my own shoes. Really the little things that you don't think about.
Pain in your hips, knees, back, shoulders? Get rid of the pain now. Call QC Kinetics.
904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. 5522. QC Kinetics. 904-274-5522.
ESPN 690 pays your bills.
Are you kidding me?
You've got 5 chances to win $1,000 every weekday at 8 a.m., 10, noon, 2, and 5 p.m. This is a nationwide contest message and data rates apply. Complete rules at ESPN690.com. ESPN 690 pays your bills on ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Hi, this is Keith Gurr, president of American Window Products. We are Jacksonville's oldest replacement window company. We have been providing excellent service for over 38 years and still have an A+ rating. At American Window Products, we have helped over 36,000 homeowners, and we don't use subcontractors. Right now, we're offering a free installation on 6 or more windows, as well as a free energy package. Go to AmericanWindowProducts.com and click for an estimate. That's AmericanWindowProducts.com. American Window Products, we are the window professionals.
Hey, do you like beer?
Yeah!
What about great food and lederhosen? Then you're going to love the 3rd annual Oktoberfest at Kingmaker Brewing in Riverside, sponsored by 1-to-1 Financial Credit Union. Kingmaker has the only Oktoberfest in Jacksonville that spans 2 whole weekends, September 22nd to October 2nd. That's 10 days of good food, great beer, and amazing local businesses. Learn more or grab VIP tickets at kingmakerbrewing.com. Oktoberfest, September 22nd to October 2nd. Kingmaker in Riverside. Brought to you by Jacksonville's hometown credit union, 1-to-1 Financial. Duncan.
If you play a sport or coach a sport or watch a sport in Jacksonville, there's a really good chance that uniform was ordered through Baker Sports. Look good, feel good, play good. Custom sports apparel at Baker Sports since 1997, and a staff that wants to help you. They are experts in the business and make outfitting your team a seamless endeavor. The homegrown Jacksonville business is now the top choice for apparel all over the Southeast. Baker Sports, uniforms, hats, shoes, embroidery, screen printing, and 3D printing. They do it all at Baker Sports, helping make your team look good. Hey everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks. There's a good chance you have a smart speaker, so use it with ESPN 690. Stay up to date on the Jags and all things sports by telling Alexa or Google to play ESPN 690. It's as easy as that. Make sure you listen weekdays 3 until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690.
It's not good, Brent. We have problems. The red flags are up.
Uh-oh.
For the United States men's national team, Brent.
Have they pulled out of the World Cup yet?
They should. This is bad. This is bad what happened today, all right? You remember the other day when I was yelling and screaming? Ho, ho, ho. We're about to yell and scream again for the next couple of minutes on Brent and Friends because there's a major problem afoot.
Why? What's up?
This team cannot win outside of the United States. Now, if this was 2026, I'd have great news for you. The World Cup would be in the United States. However,
that'd be good.
It's 2022, and the World Cup is not in the United States. And the U.S., in their final tune-up before the World Cup, drew today to a team they should have beat in Saudi Arabia, 0-0. Everybody played. They could not score. I have some stats for you, Brent. They're not very good. They're actually very underwhelming, but I'm going to give them to you. In their last 8 games outside of the United States, matches, if you will, they've scored 2 goals. That is an average of 2 goals every 6 hours. Or a goal every 6 hours. Sorry.
A goal every 6 hours.
Yeah. I can't do the math. They've given up 9 goals. So the math is not math in there. It is not good. The World Cup's in November. This is a team that's way too talented to be this bad. But if this is what they are, they will not make it out of the group and will be embarrassed again. But I cannot believe the turn of events. I can't believe they're this bad at this point in time. It's unbelievably brutal.
Well, it doesn't matter what they look like now as long as they get it right. But to your point, what you've told me before, because you follow this so much closer, they really have to be careful that if they mess this up, then they're going to have to rip it up again. And when you rip it up again, you start back from zero. And they already got enough catching up to do. So
yeah,
I think they really want to be, well, sure they want to be relevant this year, but they really want to be relevant by the time that cup comes to the United States, I would imagine.
In 26, you know? Yeah. I mean, and by the way, it sounds like the final of the World Cup in 26 will be at Jerry's World. That was reported today. Oh. So that'll have to play itself out. But, yeah, I mean,
I think they'll
not
get
good.
I got a feeling they'll get better, and it's so early still, but, I mean, it's getting late early, too.
Yeah, I mean, now there's a concern, and Gio Reyna left 30 minutes into the game today, so did his injury flare back up? If you don't know Gio Reyna, he's extremely important to this team, so that's bad. It's not a good sign. And when Christian Pulisic was subbed off today, he did not acknowledge his coach, which is also a bad sign.
Oh, boy.
So things are not going well. The only thing you have is a goalie right now who has never played in the World Cup, so you're putting all of that on, for what you will, for this level of competition, a rookie goalie. It's a scary thing, man. They're going to put it all on his shoulders like they have with Tim Howard. He's just not Tim Howard, man. I'm worried about it. I know nobody else is worried. We'll get to November, but I just hate it because I've talked about it enough on this show, and then people are going to be like, see, Casey, nobody cares. And it's like, it's so annoying because they're too talented to be this bad.
Yeah, well, they got 2 months to figure it out now, and talent usually will figure it out. Usually.
We'll see.
I think.
I'm worried.
We will worry together from Davoli's House of Cards here on a Tuesday. 1 more hour to go, and then it's overtime with Kurtz and Middleton, and the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp play after that. 2 more games in their season, both on the road. So we'll bring it all for you here on ESPN 690. Brent and Friends rolls on football at 5. The Jags are working out kickers. Why?
Huh?
I'm confused.
Me too.
We talk about it
A lot of
next on
confusion.
ESPN 690.
Buying or leasing a car in Jacksonville is the best with Fields Auto Group, Jacksonville's luxury auto group. Lexus of Jacksonville and Orange Park, Mercedes-Benz of Jacksonville, Orange Park, Jaguar Land Rover, Jacksonville, Porsche, Jacksonville, Fields Cadillac, Jacksonville, and St. Augustine. If the luxury car you want isn't in stock, Fields Auto Group will order it. And at Fields, you'll never be charged over sticker price. Stop by a Fields store today and see what world-class service really means. Fields is a proud sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Fields Auto Group, fieldsauto.com.
If you've been injured on the job and are not receiving the benefits you're entitled to, call me, Glenn Levine, at the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000, and take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
Get into the game at Best Bet. Come experience the best in card games, hospitality, and fun at Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine. You don't have to be a poker pro to have an exciting time. Featuring card games of all limits and easy-to-learn games like Ultimate Texas Hold'em, 3-card poker, and Pai Gow. Wager on exciting simulcast races and enjoy delicious food and drinks. Our card rooms are open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 4 a.m. and 24 hours on Saturday and Sunday. Details at bestbetjacks.com.
Ready to elevate your lifestyle? You can do that at iCryo in St. Johns County, and you can find them at iCryo.com. We all do it in the Martineau household, my wife, the kids. I was just over there the other day. Recovery is an important part of staying healthy. The cryotherapy chamber, red light therapy, the sauna, compression, just some of the ways you can do that at iCryo in St. Johns County at the Pavilion at Durbin Park. If you have an event, make sure you invite iCryo to come out. They have mobile IV services as well as compression therapy for recovery and hydration as well. iCryo.com. Elevate your lifestyle.
Hey, boss, look. The ding-dong doorbell cameras made the news again.
Again? You would think that mega company that bought them out would be more buttoned up.
You would think, but now some homeowners are upset they shared camera footage without their consent.
Huh. You know, being a crook and all, one thing we know is that home security systems are not created equal.
That's for sure.
I mean, take SafeTouch Security. I don't pretend to know about their video monitoring encryptions or algorithms or their flux capacitor or whatever.
Wait, what?
Whatever it is they do, it works. That's why you don't hear about SafeTouch cameras in the news.
Encryptions, algorithms, and flex capacitors?
Never mind. It's also why we have the Crooks Arrest Golden Rule. Stay away from SafeTouch houses. Stick to that and we'll be fine.
crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233. Flux capacitor not included.
Bank how and when you want to with Community First. Get free checking with rewards and free digital tools that make managing your money simple and life simply better. Add an account at justbeyourself.com. Community First Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
Ready to swoop in the fall of 2022? The UNF Ospreys are ready with a lot of momentum on campus. New improvements at UNF Arena with basketball season right around the corner and tickets already on sale. The fall schedule underway in volleyball and men's and women's soccer, also men's and women's cross country. Get the latest news, schedules, results, and information on tickets for all things Ospreys at unfospreys.com. Join the Osprey Club, attend a game or a match. Be a part of the momentum at the University of North Florida right now at unfospreys.com.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Giants leading receiver Sterling Shepard will miss the rest of the season with a torn ACL suffered last night. His absence a big hit for New York's receiving group, which hasn't had a great start to the season anyways, believes former Giants running back Brandon Jacobs.
I wish we had more wide receiver play, take some pressure off of Saquon and make Daniel Jones' job a little easier. I mean, the guys he's throwing to, man, not too many people has ever heard of him. But at the end of the day, man, you need a core at the wide receiver group, and you need that one bell cow. We don't have that.
Brandon Jacobs on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. With the threat of Hurricane Ian, the Buccaneers are temporarily relocating to South Florida. The South Carolina State football game moved from Saturday to Thursday at 7 Eastern. The Florida Eastern Washington game pushed back to Sunday at noon Eastern. USF East Carolina will instead play in Boca on Saturday night. The Tampa Bay Lightning has postponed preseason home games for tomorrow and Thursday. NBA Bulls guard Lonzo Ball telling reporters he still can't run or jump without feeling pain in his left knee, and that's why he's having another arthroscopic knee surgery tomorrow.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
The bottom line is he was the 6th overall pick in the draft. He's not the future. The Giants are going to move on from him this year. He's a very, very good backup in the league, it looks like to me.
This and more, Wednesday morning at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
Now, your chance to win $1,000 as ESPN 690 pays your bills.
Fueled by Celsius Essential Energy. Essential Energy. Live fit.
Are you ready to go?
3, 2, 1.
Text the word time to the number 70123 before 15 past the hour. That's TIME.
Your next chance to win is tomorrow morning at 8. This is a nationwide contest. Message and data rates apply. Get the complete rules now at ESPN690.com.
ESPN 690 and Action Sports Shacks presents Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau.
We're going to have to show a little more patience than the year 2 pom-pom people.
Casey Kurtz.
Yo! What are we doing, bro? Come on!
And Aaron Schachter.
I'm all in favor of these two showing their love, really celebrating their relationship.
Get him! Get him! Get him! Get him! This is Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau, Casey Kurtz, and Aaron Schachter on Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio, ESPN 690.
Hey, having some fun on a Tuesday from Davoli's House of Cards down here in St. Johns County. Brent Martineau along with Casey Kurtz. Aaron Schachter did stop by for a bit, but he's on hurricane coverage alert. We might all be by Thursday and Friday. And once again, big reminder to check out Mike Borish and the First Alert
Money Mike
forecast for the latest on what's going on with Hurricane Ian and how it will impact Jacksonville and the surrounding areas. And obviously there's going to be some impact. Every school district in the area has basically canceled school, at least on Thursday, Friday I've seen, but St. Johns County I know, and others Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, which means all activities after school are done. High school football impacted. Told you earlier in the show, no Friday night blitz this week. No Blitz scoreboard show Friday. no Jaguars All Access. We are going to move Jaguars All Access and make it an hour show next week, to avoid people trying to get out to Strings on Thursday, or even if we had moved it to tomorrow. Instead, people can prepare and be
friends,
ready.
Baby.
Josh and Friends and Jaguars All Access, an hour next Thursday from String Sports Brewery. And can you imagine what next week is like in Jacksonville if the Jaguars beat the Eagles?
Listen,
oh my gosh.
Don't let them beat the Eagles, because I'm gonna have to come to Strings, right? How much beer can you drink in an hour? The answer's a lot, right? So I will be out of my mind if they beat the Eagles. I'll be out there ruining the TV show, drinking all the beer they have at Strings. I hope it happens, but don't let me get wild, Brent.
I know, it could be crazy. One other note, I think you just heard at the Sports Center update, the Gators moved to Sunday at noon, not a Saturday game, so Sunday at noon. Meanwhile, Florida State's still on as scheduled for now, so we'll keep you posted if that changes. Again, a lot could go on over the next 24 hours as you get closer and closer to finding out this track, because at least I was watching a bit today. I don't pay too much attention. I kind of hear it subconsciously, like nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it, but I'm not locked into the Weather Channel as some are, or well, I am locked into Mike Barsh's.
There you go, Money Mike, never wrong.
So and by the way, like, that's why you got to watch Barish, because everything is so focused on the west coast of Florida, as it should be, on the Weather Channel and stuff. But what are they saying about Jacksonville and Northeast Florida? Nobody better in the business than Mike Barish, of course.
Not a one.
Fox 30, 104.5 WOKV. He really is the best. Like, I've actually worked with some good weather guys.
Yeah.
And gals over the years. Like, good teams. Barish is the best. Like, I have no problem saying that.
He's the GOAT.
We probably would have to say it anyway, right?
Yeah.
Because it's the current thing. Like, I understand that, and that's why you think I'm saying that, but that's not true. Like, he's seriously, like, he's the GOAT.
He's the GOAT.
He is.
Listen, Mike, all-world dude. I got to know him a little bit. I've asked him many a weather question. I understand how he does his stuff a little different than everybody else. If you watch the others, which you shouldn't, you should watch Money Mike. And then you watch what Mike Burish does. There's a difference. Mike just does it better. It's plain and simple. You got to watch the Chief. By the way, Brett, we'll say this. My people in Sarasota, stay safe, because that's like where it's at. Palmetto right next to Sarasota, right next to Bradenton. If you know, you know, the 941. Be safe down there, my people. We got listeners down there, Brent. I know we do. They got to be safe.
Yes, you should. You should check on any family that you have those days as well.
I keep checking in with them. They're good people down
there. I'm just checking with
They love
Jags.
you in the 941, Brent, by the way.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, they love you.
Appreciate you. By the way, I know that 941 area code.
I know. We've been through this.
Yeah, but not everybody else does. If maybe they haven't heard me say it. We know it well. Like, my in-laws go to Englewood.
Yeah.
And that's a 941 area code for them. So we're actually got our eyes on Englewood a little bit, because that's where they go for 3 months, like in January, February, and March.
They're not there right now, though, right?
No.
Cool.
There won't be. They're in Ohio, so they won't have a problem with
good call.
with this one. So anyway, I got a question about the Jacksonville Jaguars. Even if they don't beat the Eagles, or right now heading into the Eagles week, how good are the Jaguars? Because I'm looking at these power polls. You know, everybody does the power ranking stuff, and they started off like 28.
We're about to do it next on OT, by the way.
Are you going to do one?
Yeah, Power Rankings Tuesday.
I was actually thinking we probably should do one for this. Post that thing, all right? Put it on ESPN 690, and we'll have one.
You know me.
Yeah. But I saw the Jags like at number 9.
Yeah.
Number 9.
You got to respect it.
I mean, that's a lot of love around the league. Now, this is an organization and a franchise that doesn't usually get a lot of love, especially you got to show me more than once. Well, the Jags did show them more than once, and all of a sudden people are talking about the Jags going into this game. I mean, can you make the case like this is the game of the week in the NFL in week 4?
Yeah, you can definitely make that case. I think you have a team that, and listen, I'll go back to this to start this conversation. I said it last week on one of these shows that being in that 4 o'clock window was going to be key for the Jags, just because you get more people talking about them. And you've sent me some stuff from CBS on NFL. There was Jags tweets all over the CBS Twitter. Like, people were talking about the Jags. So you roll that into playing an Eagles team that everybody's already talking about. Yeah, you got 2 young quarterbacks. You got a marquee defense. There's a lot of storylines. Obviously, Doug Peterson is one as well. So, yeah, I mean, going through the rest of the schedule, all right. But, yeah, this to me is a marquee game. There's no doubt.
Well, and so I piggyback that, and I asked this a little bit earlier. I want everybody to think about it some over a couple of hours, and now we bring it back at Football at 5. Brent and Friends, live from Davoli's House of Cards on ESPN 690. I mean, how good are they? Like, is there a chance they are like pretty good by NFL standards, not just like by Jags standards? Because right now I think we measure it from the Jags point of view. You know, like, wow, this is maybe the best team we've seen since 17. Or this is one of the better teams we've seen. There's talent. Like, they're 2-1. I've said the stat a million times. Third time in 15 years they've been 2-1 after 3 weeks. It doesn't happen very often. So it's easy to compare everything to what has been in Jacksonville, which quite frankly hasn't been that good. But if you look at the rest of the league and you look at what the AFC South just did to the West, well, it shows that anybody can beat anybody. We kind of knew that about the NFL. I mean, I don't see anybody that's looked that much better than the Jags in the first few weeks of the season. I mean, the Bills, arguably. The Dolphins have looked good at times. I don't know as long stretches, but they've looked good, and they're 3-0. The Eagles definitely have looked the best. I mean, definitely. They have blowing out people. It's hard to blow people out in the NFL. They've done it like 3 times. And, again, that Lions score is a little iffy, but they really kind of blew them out for most of that game. So you start to wonder, like, how good are the Jags? Like, is there a chance they are really good? And
there's a chance.
I think there is a chance they are pretty, like, I don't want to say the top, like, 6 teams in the league good, but I think there's a chance, like, they are definitely a top 7 team in the AFC.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. I think, yeah, there's a chance because I think you just go back to the defense right now and it's week 3. Like, if they're really going to get better, if they're going to grow as a unit, then they absolutely could be a really good team in the league and a dominant defense. So I think that is still yet to be seen. Trevor Lawrence is getting better. So, yeah, I think everything's on the up and up, and you're this good in week 3. I think it's very possible. And, again, stay tuned for the power rankings because, listen, people have called me mad reckless before. I'm about to be mad reckless with the power rankings, all right? They're going to be up there. You wait and see.
Well, they should be up there for now, but I want to remind people the conversation we were having, and this is my conversation from the offseason. When I looked at the AFC, I saw 11 teams that thought they were Super Bowl caliber teams, like thought they could win it with the rosters they had and what they had done and the moves they made. And that included the Raiders in here, and they're 0-3.
Yikes.
Then I thought there were 3 teams that, like, okay, nobody's even talking about playoffs with these teams, but they would like to grow, take a step. And in that conversation was the Jags, the Jets, and Houston.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought the Jags had a chance to be the best of those 3, but that's where they were. They're like, let's get to 6-7 wins, maybe a ceiling of 8, and see where we're at. Then I thought there were the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Patriots in this kind of middle of nowhere spot where those are organizations that think they always have a chance to win, but come on. We saw their rosters, and you're like, they are not like a Super Bowl roster. Like, if they made the playoffs, it would be a good year. That's the way I thought about those 2 teams.
Yeah. So
that's how we broke it down. But, I mean, you go through the rest of the list. The Dolphins thought they were really good. The Bills thought they were really good. The Ravens, the Browns, obviously some things happened to the Browns. The Bengals all thought they were good. The Titans, the Colts, and then everyone in the West thought they had a chance. Like, so that's not a fabrication. Like, that's the breakdown. It was 11, it was 2 in the middle of nowhere, and it was 3 bottom feeders just trying to get out of the basement in the AFC.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, after 3 weeks, you start jockeying around that list. I think Pittsburgh and New England kind of are where we thought they might be, Casey. Like, that's who they are. I think Houston is kind of where we thought they'd be. I don't see the Jets showing any kind of life like, wow, they might be way better, especially in that division. So I think they are where that we thought they might be. Then you got the Raiders who are like, whoa, what's going on there? You have Denver that I don't think anybody's thinking Super Bowl in Denver after watching the first 3 weeks.
No.
And I still don't think with the Titans and the Colts, I would say they're probably not thinking that way, but they don't know much yet. I mean, in fairness, the Colts are 1-1-1. And the Titans have done this stuff before where they start off bad or go through rough stretches and then find themselves. So there's probably still a confidence in Nashville with Variable and everything else. So the one team, like the 2 teams that have really shifted columns are probably 3, Ravens, Broncos, And even though the Broncos are 2-1, I still feel like their fan base would be like, yeah, we'll be lucky to make the playoffs.
Yep.
But the Jags are that third team that's gone from column C to column 1 in terms of the playoffs. Now, I'm not ready to go like Super Bowl, good. But they have gone into that other column. They're not in the middle of like the Patriots. They're better than the Patriots and Steelers right now.
Yes. I think if they lined up, they would win the football game right now, both of those teams.
So it makes you think, and then now you look at the rest of the division and everything else, like, wow, I mean, the Jags have a path to the playoffs if they resemble this team for the rest of the year in any way. And I'm not talking 62-10 over 2 weeks. I'm talking from a talent, the ability to get the job done, the ability to know how to win at times, and they'll lose some games. They might lose Sunday. But if they resemble any sense of that, well, they are going to be in the mix in the AFC South the entire thing. And so that puts you in the playoffs, and that gives you a chance. So I just I think it's worth asking the question, like, they're probably better than we thought they are, but they might be a lot better than we thought they are or were.
Yeah, they might be, and they've proven that so far. Obviously, you have to continue. But I think it goes back to something I said yesterday, at least on overtime, where you have games that before the season, before we knew they were what they are, that we let, hey, could you beat the Giants? You probably should if you want to take the next step. But now it's like, hold on. You play Houston twice, and I know they've had their problems with Houston. You play the Giants. You play the Jets, like the Raiders, the Broncos. All of a sudden, all of these games are like, wait a minute now. They might be favored to win these games now. And I think that's the biggest part of it. They could be a good team. They might be a really good team in the AFC, but they have to handle their business, and that's still yet to be seen. You stole one with the Chargers, no matter what. Even if they are a good team, people still think the Chargers are better. Or were better before, obviously, what happened and now the injuries. Nobody's saying that. But that's still a game you stole. Handle your business now with those teams that you're more talented than, and you look up and they might be a playoff team.
Yeah, they could be. And again, this is the time they get carried away with this stuff. And I'm not saying I believe it. Like, I'm not going to put money on them right now to go win the Super Bowl or anything. It might not be a bad idea. Maybe. But because you probably get the most out of it. I just think it's worth acknowledging that they are probably better than we thought they were going to be. We were hoping they could scratch out 6 or 7 wins. I think this talent is real. The quarterback looks good. The coaching looks fantastic. And it's just hard. We've seen it before where it's derailed. I mean, the Jags in 2018 were 3-1. They got injuries, but they also just lost their way. They lost 9 games in a row. Like, this team is not, knock on wood, losing 9 games in a row. I mean, they're just built different. They're built different, Casey.
They're built different. I like it, Brent.
Here's what I don't understand. The Jags worked out Sam Ficken, and they worked out Rodrigo Blankenship, former Colts kicker today.
Yeah.
They have a kicker that has been really good, and I just projected him yesterday to kick 40 field goals this year.
You did the projecting. That was crazy.
That was Riley Patterson. It is Riley Patterson. I don't think there's a problem with Riley Patterson at the moment. Now, unless he tweaked something. They have James McCourt, who I still was wondering why James wasn't the opening day kicker.
Well, now we know.
And Riley obviously has done a good job, so it's a good move by them. But James McCourt's fine on the practice squad for me.
Yeah.
So why are they bringing in kickers? Did somebody get hurt? It's Tuesday. We might not know about that. We'll keep an eye on it tomorrow. Or are they just continuing to try to add depth just in case at the position?
Yeah. I mean,
something's got to be. I feel like there might be an injury here to McCourt, or it can happen to a kicker, right? I mean, you kick your hamstring, your groin, your quad, your whatever. So there might be something up here that we don't know about.
Something's afoot. Here's what I want to say, though. You mentioned Blankenship, who most people have heard of. Sam Ficken, though, in the tryout, just want to work this in. Valparaiso, Indiana's own, Valpo High School, right? Stand up, Valpo. That's where I'm from. These are my people. I got connections with Sam Ficken. If he becomes the kicker in the Jags and is really good, that's going to be good for us, Brent. I got connections with Sam Ficken. All right, get excited. Get excited. Anyway, Valpo's own, baby.
All right.
You're like, what?
Let's. I want to do this, though, okay? Because this is in I guess we keep popping off the radio side, by the way. So, Casey, instead of texting you, I'm just going to tell you that have them check it because we keep going on and off, apparently, to my buddy Chris Morgan, who listens to the show. He said it's coming in and out, and I don't know if we can do anything about it. But we're definitely on the social media feeds, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. I know we got that cooking, but something's not going to soften. Ian isn't even here yet.
Come on. We are off, by the way.
So
we're back. It's a moment.
I know it keeps coming back and forth. I don't understand why, so we'll try to get that figured out. But you can always go back and listen on the podcast, for sure, if you miss even just a second of the show. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Trent Baalke, in Trent we trust. In
shirt.
Doug we trust.
Yeah,
whatever they want to do at the kicker position, do it. Everything they do has worked.
It's true. Yeah.
Why are we questioning them?
Yeah, hey, I'm just going to let him cook. Let him feast.
I want to look at this depth chart real quick. We're going to go through this real fast, all right?
Sure thing.
And let's see. I want to look at the moves they've made. Not the guys they kept, all right? So whatever about that. Zay Jones they bring in. Looks good. Christian Kirk looks awesome. Signing Cam Robinson looks good.
Mm-hmm.
Luke Fortner drafting him. That's one, and playing him right away. They took some lumps early. And everybody knows that you will take some lumps. And it looks like he's rebounded and getting out of that funk in the last, 6 quarters. So maybe that's good. I would say the jury's still out, but I guess it's headed in a good direction. Braden Sheriff, he's really good. Good sign. Jawan Taylor, starting him. Might be the move they've made of all.
Yeah.
They could have easily played Walker Little. I'm telling you, they had Walker Little in their mind at the start of camp. And by midway through the camp. And Jawan Taylor earned that spot back, and he has been awesome. He is playing the best football of his career.
Walker Little, the ultimate motivator.
Yeah. Evan Ingram, good. Okay, what else? I'll even see if we got any backup stories. Nah, everybody else was here. Roy Robertson Harris was here. Devon Hamilton here. Foley Fatukasi.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see him much this last game, but the first 2 games I saw him quite a bit. Josh Allen's already here. Foye, I think he's really good in the middle.
Yeah, I seen him.
He's already recovered 2 fumbles.
Mm-hmm.
Devin Lloyd, great pick.
Incredible.
Trayvon Walker, great pick.
Incredible.
Playing Andre Sisco, good idea.
Took it intellectual to figure that one out.
Darius Williams, okay, that's one that hasn't worked out yet for him. They paid him $40 million, and I think he's going to be good, but he hasn't settled in yet, right?
Early.
That's probably one you could be a little critical of. Hasn't really worked out great, but it's also not killing you.
He missed some time too, though, in camp, right?
Yeah.
I guess Devin Lloyd's just really built different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, true. Chad Muma, well, he actually is doing a good job on special teams, and he adds depth to that spot. You didn't need another position right now, so I'm okay with it. I don't think it's a head scratcher. You could have gone a lot of different directions with that pick, but I'm not going to criticize it. I think it's fine. What is the other one? I will even give you this one. How about Adam Gotsis? Whatever that roster shuffle was.
Yeah, that was weird.
I think they knew what they were doing, and they got him back, and he's been good for them.
He has. He has been really good for them, actually. He's been disruptive.
He has been. Arden Key.
Arden
good.
Key. Good. Yeah.
Good. Let's see what else. And this Riley Patterson stuff. Name me a move. The only move you could say right now, you could criticize one move. One move. Of all those moves I just made, 3 weeks into the season. And that would maybe be Darius Williams. That's nuts.
Yes. Sorry. Yes. Yeah, it is nuts. And I think he will come around. I don't think that's going to be a bad signing. I think you got to let time to play it out. Also, the movement with the positions and stuff like that. Darius Williams will be good. But that's again, just goes back to my point of it's still week 3. They're getting better. Darius Williams is still figuring out how to play in this defense. And if only one guy took a little bit of time to adapt, then that's a good thing. Because I think by the time they get to the end of the season, this guy's going to be clicking like he was with the Rams. I don't think he's a bad player. I just think he needs some time.
Yeah, I do too. When you're coming off injury, you're in a new setting. I think there's a lot goes into that. I'll give him a bit of a pass. And I don't know if he's been just downright terrible. He's had mixed moments. And it got off to a slow start in the tackling department. Then He was in chase mode a little bit the other day. I mean, he's probably been more bad than good, if I'm being honest. But I agree with you. I think they're going to be just fine. And by the way, they've got a guy like Trey Herndon. If he's really not good or you got to get him out of there or something, Trey Herndon has been a good keep because Herndon looked fine the other day. And Herndon had a really good camp. And, I mean, maybe one move you can criticize. I mean, that is amazing for a guy everybody wanted out of town 8 months ago.
True.
And I do think you have to give Peterson some of the credit here, too, and the staff. I mean, they all talk about the moves they're going to make. But Bulky that's his job, the GM, right? I mean, his job is to get these guys. And right now, he has assembled a team that, I will also say this, I think I said, maybe I told somebody else here today, it's a likable team, like a super likable team. They went out and got guys that have hard character, that they think, like that whole saying, I love football, but that also can really play and are good athletes. Like, they got some dogs on that team now from an athlete standpoint.
Got a dog in them.
And that's pretty good. So what a start to this 2022 season for Trent Baalke and Doug Peterson. Let's take a break. We're live at Davoli's House of Cards. Brent and Friends rolls on ESPN 690. We got more football at 5 coming up right after this.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly cloudy tonight, temperatures dropping into the 60s. Becoming mostly cloudy tomorrow, a few scattered brief showers as temperatures reach into the 70s. Impacts from Ian look to be primarily later tomorrow night and especially through the day Thursday and into Friday. From the CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jack's First Alert Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where now you can buy like a dealer buys.
Back in the day, crime was someone stealing something off the patio. Today, it's violent crime. Oftentimes, the bad guys hack into cameras and doorbells, steal your privacy, and break into your house while you or your loved ones are home. Criminals today are much smarter and more violent. You simply cannot fight today's criminals with do-it-yourself alarms. That's why you need a safe touch security and surveillance system with its 5 layers of detection and protection. Number 1, the safe touch sign. Crooks know to stay away from safe touch houses. Number 2, cameras using analytic technology that alerts the bad guys they are on camera while simultaneously alerting you, the homeowner. Number 3, entry alerts that notify Safe Touch before the bad guys even enter. Number 4, the exclusive Safe Touch two-way communicator that immediately alerts local emergency authorities. And number 5, the Safe Touch central monitoring center that is right here and not in some remote out-of-state location. Don't delay. Demand is at an all-time high. Call and receive professional installation at no charge. 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com, state license EF233.
We appreciate our good friends at CGC Water Treatment. They were just part of our Dream 18 golf tournament once again. And this year, CGC Water Treatment is celebrating 75 years in business. Put their experience to work for you. Discover how good your water can be with a new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. Connecticut's twin tank non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available, and their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Call today and save hundreds, even thousands on a complete home solution for city and well water. Financing available with approved credit. And because the professionals at CGC Water are committed to being your go-to water experts, you can trust their master plumbing with all your plumbing needs as well. 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Now you can take advantage of their $75 drain cleaning special too. Call for details. CGC Water Treatment, proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars and your local independent Connecticut dealer. And I'm a proud customer of CGC Water. Florida license number CFC 1428211.
Are you seeing the telomeres here? Come here, look at the scope.
Dr. Ocasio's lab startup just discovered a gene therapy breakthrough.
The cells have already doubled.
He needs a fleet of research assistants before this breakthrough breaks them.
We need lab techs, research assistants.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
When you download the Home Depot app, taking on big or small projects starts with a tap. It's your pocket-sized toolbox for getting more done. Image Search helps you find what you need with a snap. Store Mode pinpoints exactly where to go to get what you want while you're at our store. Or just tap to arrange for easy curbside pickup, all from the palm of your hand. It's the app that's made for doing. The Home Depot app. How doers get more done.
When I moved to Jacksonville 15 years ago, I found Nimnick Buick GMC. That led to the Acadia. I had a couple of them. And now the GMC Sierra truck, and I love it. I'm on my second one of those, all from Nimnick Buick GMC. GMC, we are professional grade. I know the product, the service, and I know the people. From Billy Nimnick to Jackie Lynch and James Jones. They've been my friends since 2008. Nimnick has been your friend in Jacksonville since 1941. NimnickBuickGMC.com. It's where I'll get my next truck, or maybe it'll be my kid's first vehicle at Nimnick Buick GMC.
Listen to ESPN 690 anytime, anywhere, on any device. Whether you're at home or on the go, get the latest on the Jags, FSU, the Jumbo Shrimp, and Action Sports Jacks on Odyssey.com. That's AUDACY.com or on ESPN690.com.
We've been talking about schedule changes all day on the station, what's going on because of the hurricane, and we will keep telling you those, but I've got some of those from the University of North Florida. Before I tell you those, though, men's basketball season tickets still on sale, and you're getting a pretty cool gift if you buy the tickets. I want to get one myself, so I'm going to have to talk to somebody over at my alma mater, but those tickets are on sale. And as for the scheduling, women's soccer at Kennesaw State is going to be postponed. Unfortunately, men's tennis, the Mercer Gridiron Classic, also postponed. Good thing for Mercer because men's tennis is a problem officially at UNF because them boys are good. The women's tennis as well, also a very good program. They will not attend their pre-qualifying at the ITA All-Americans coming up this weekend. Volleyball on Wednesday, postponed as well, but they still plan to travel to Lipscomb and Austin Peay this weekend. Cross country still a go in Missouri, and men's soccer will go on as planned against Queens, which I know what you're thinking is in Queens, but it's actually in Charlotte, North Carolina. So that will go on as planned. All of that information from the University of North Florida. You can find schedules, tickets, anything you need to know about the athletics department, how to get your men's basketball season tickets, women's basketball season tickets as well, UNFOspreys.com.
Welcome back, everybody. Brent and Friends on ESPN 690 from Davoli's House of Cards here in St. Johns County and right off Route 210. So come on down, say hello each and every Tuesday. And don't forget about fantasy card breaks. We are playing along with Mark Davoli and several others, and you can play along with us and win prizes each and every week. It's not a year-long thing. It's a weekly thing, and it's really fun. You like fantasy football, like who doesn't? By the way, I held off Saquon Barkley last night, so that was good. And
nice.
If you like card breaks, well, it incorporates that because your fantasy team comes from a 24-card pack of Prism. And
do we have a team, Brent?
Not yet, no. I haven't seen, Mark's not here today. I haven't seen him yet.
Mark!
So, but we'll get our team. And anyway, you get the old quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, 3 flex players, a super flex player as well. And then you go to battle with that team and then maybe win. So you get a little bit of everything. And you get to keep the cards.
And just
hopefully
you don't get Irv Smith and everything will be all right.
So for now, the website's going to be up and running. I've actually seen some of it, and it's being tested out. It's a fantastic idea. The website will be up and running soon. But for now, give Davoli's a call, Davoli's House of Cards, or come on down here to St. Johns County, and you can enter the fray. But you got to be in before Thursday because that's when the week starts. And then the next week, you start planning for even as soon as Friday, if you want. So that's how it's working. It's really cool. We're having fun with it, and we were in the money in the first week, but probably not so much this week. I haven't seen the results,
boys,
but I don't think
the boys
I think
did
everybody else would have had to do poorly as well.
Yeah.
Although there wasn't a lot of crazy breakout games like there were the first 2 weeks.
No,
right?
Yeah, no, there wasn't. But I don't think our boys scored a touchdown.
Oh, none of them.
Yeah.
Well, we had Burrow. He had 3 touchdowns.
Well, yeah. But Swift, I don't believe scored.
Yeah, and he might be out for a little bit too.
Bateman didn't score. Mac got hurt, which is super unfortunate.
It's true. Patriots are not good, huh?
Patriots are not good. Yeah, Patriots confirmed are pretty bad. I don't know who the backup is, but good luck.
That's Brian Hoyer, I think.
Brian Hoyer. Good luck. Sucks for Mac though. Brutal.
Yeah, it's bad for him with the eye ankle sprain. He's probably going to miss some time. I mean, sometimes you can miss as much as 6 weeks with that. That's a tough one.
And you feel bad too because it was Calais.
I know.
Obviously not trying to hurt anybody. It was unlucky, but just two good guys. Thinks all the way around.
I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit because we talk some fantasy, and you kind of get we think of this maybe Thursday, Friday. It's too late. I don't hit the waiver wire much in fantasy. We have our team and we roll with it. Ty sometimes will make some moves, and I just say, Ty, you're the boss, so you make moves.
Yeah. Boss man Ty.
2-1 in the new league, in your league, though.
Amen.
So off to a decent start.
My boys suck.
And I don't even think, I got Kyle Pitts. He hasn't done anything. I got Dawson Knox. He hasn't done anything. So, but we have Jalen Hurts, and that's been a good move. I didn't want Jalen Hurts. Ty picked him, and that was a good executive decision by the young man.
Not a boy, Ty.
So, but what, from a waiver wire standpoint now, is there somebody? I mean, you got to go get the Williams guy from Detroit, right? Scored a couple of times, and it looks like Swift could be out or at least hampered.
Yeah.
You got to get a new quarterback if you have Mac Jones. I'm not sure how many had Mac anyway, but you got to go get somebody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Jamal Williams is a good one. That might come up on the station later in the week. You might hear me talking about that. But, yeah, Jamal Williams, if he's available, that's a good one to go for at the running back position because running back's always thin. So, yeah, that's a guy that I'm interested in there. And, outside of that, depending on how many people are in your league, it's going to be tough to find anybody else because it's thin. Now, I will say a wide receiver, there's a couple better options. Mac Hollins. I was upset about it the other day. If you remember, last 2 games, 18 targets, and he plays for the Raiders, right? So this guy is getting looks, and he's making plays. Scored a touchdown. I'm in on Mac Hollins. Also, we were talking about the Giants a little bit earlier. Sterling Shepard, unfortunately, tears his ACL.
Oh, yeah.
But that means Richie James, who already has in the first 3 games. Yeah, I know. Richie James. 6 targets, and then 5 targets. Double-digit fantasy points in 2 of the 3. You take Shepard out, he's going to get even more targets. Daniel Jones likes him. So those are 2 guys that I'm at least intrigued in. And then at the quarterback position, to your point, Brian, a guy that's available in a lot of leagues, Jared Goff.
Oh, yeah. He's been good. They figured out a way to get him going now.
They have.
Mark Brunello part of that staff, so give that staff credit. But they've got him playing pretty good football.
11th best quarterback in fantasy so far this year. So, yeah, I mean, Jared Goff, somebody I look at. I've played him in daily as well. So, it's an interesting thing right now with fantasy because it's been a weird year. You've had – some usual things, but at the same time, where's Jonathan Taylor been?
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor. I mean, even Derek had a better day, but he hasn't even gone over 100 yards yet.
Right. Alvin Kamara, where's he been?
Kamara's nowhere to be found. Guys like Najee Harris, right?
Oh, you don't have to tell me that.
Nothing. I mean, it's weird. It's been a weird start, and some of the receivers just okay. I mean, Devontae Adams not doing anything close to what people thought he was.
Exactly. It's been odd, but those are some guys that I at least have my eyes on. Because, Brent, let me tell you this, actually. I'm glad you brought this up. I was going to tweet this. Haven't done it yet. Still will. Can't believe it. So last week, Brent, you're good at math. I'll let you do the quick here. Last week in a different league, I played Brian Middleton. You know him. You love him. From Overtime. You know him. I lost 127.18 to 127.16. 0.02. Yep.
That is a bad beat.
It's a bad beat. And then it gets better because this week, after Saquon Barkley did just not enough, I lost 110.26 to 110.5.
That's tough, man.
2 weeks lost by a total of 0.26 or 27, whatever the quick math is. Less than a point. Less than a half a point.
That is tough.
How do I recover from that?
I don't know. Good luck with that.
You don't. You don't recover from that.
How far down was Saquon Barkley probably picked in leagues?
That's a good question.
Was he not a top 10 pick, right? Because people are a little nervous, or would they still pick him top
10?
No.
So I picked in this league. I had Saquon, 12-team league with people I would like to believe know what they're doing. I got him at 25.
Wow.
But the only reason I did, and I think he would have gone in that round somewhere, but probably later because I had first and last. So I had back-to-back picks, so I wasn't going to pick again. I knew I wanted him. So I bet there were other leagues you got him in like the 30s.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now so I was trying to think of who would you Christian Kirk's done well for people.
James
Robinson's done well for people.
Mm-hmm.
Trevor Lawrence might start do pretty well for people. I know quarterbacks aren't valued most of the time the same way. Hey, I wonder if Ty dropped them, but we picked the Jags defense because in our league, it's what is this thing we play for like 5 years or something?
Yes. Yeah.
What's that called? Dynasty or something?
Yeah.
And so. So we picked the Jags defense. We're like, hey,
you did.
They're building that thing. They're going to be good down the road. But we also picked somebody else to start. We had 2 defenses because for some odd reason your league has 24 positions available.
Amen.
So, and then I think Ty we needed a kicker or something. So I was nobody's going to pick up the Jags defense. We'll drop them. Now I don't even know. I wonder if he went back and picked them up. But the Jags defense through the first 3 weeks, well, that'd be a pretty good get.
That would be good. Yeah, I played him. I did the same thing. I played him in a regular league on the first week, and then I dropped him, and then I was like, well, I goofed.
I mean, Jags have the only shutout in the league.
Yes, they do.
You know what I want to see, actually? I asked this question earlier. What game, are the Jags the best game of the weekend coming up?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at the schedule. Dissect that thing real quick. What would be in the conversation? The Rams and 49ers for the Monday night game? That ain't it.
That is definitely not it. I will agree with you there. Just a quick digestion, as you asked me to do. Yeah, nothing really popping off the page at me. Bills-Ravens is a good one.
Okay.
Bills-Ravens, yeah. Patriots-Packers is not what they thought it was going to be when they made the schedule. I'll tell you that. They thought that was going to be a good one. Chiefs-Bucks, I'm be honest. Chiefs-Bucks does not intrigue me as much as the Jags-Eagles because I think the Chiefs blow them out. There's that ability because the Bucks can't score right now. The Chiefs can still.
You're right, but I guess if we're being completely honest, we would say Brady against Mahomes is the better game.
Oh, yeah, more eyeballs. Sure, people are more interested in that one. They'd be unfortunately wrong, but
well, the Jags are never going to have the most eyeballs, but I would just say, if we're being constructive about this, again, you could say the Rams are Super Bowl champs. 49ers could be good, but it's not a fun game to watch. It's not the best game.
Yeah.
Chiefs, Buccaneers, I think you could say, okay, that's number one. Sunday Night Football, got it right. That's a good one. But I understand what you're saying, but I'd still, if I was just Joe NFL fan in Idaho, I'd be watching the Bucks and Chiefs more than I'd watch the Jags and the Eagles.
Sure. But outside of that, man, you got some sleepers. Browns, Falcons, Chargers, Texans, Seahawks, Lions.
Like you said, the Patriots, Packers, that's not a good game.
No, it's not. And that's the thing. The 4 o'clock window is a sleeper, Brent. I'll be getting a nap in while you're up there in Philadelphia working because
no, we'll be getting reaction from a win.
Yeah, that'll you do that. I'll be napping because I am not watching the Cardinals and the Panthers. No, I'm not watching the Broncos and the Raiders. Absolutely not. And I'm not watching the Patriots and the Packers. Listen, I know you can't flex this week, but I either need Bills, Ravens, or Jags, Eagles in the 4 window because this is horrible.
Yeah, and by the way, it's the 3rd best game. So I would say it's the 3rd best game. You got the Bucks and the Chiefs, and I think the Ravens and the Bills. I mean, we have Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson.
It's a good one.
But again, from an entertainment, from a what could we see standpoint, coming off these 2 weeks, the 2 most impressive teams the last 2 weeks are the Eagles and the Jags.
Mm-hmm.
If you compile the last 2 weeks alone, the 2 most impressive teams are those. Even more than the Dolphins. Dolphins are 3-0. I mean, that is impressive what they've done, but they didn't look impressive the other day,
Mm-hmm.
They looked impressive coming back against the Ravens.
Why not put Bills Ravens somewhere other than at 1 o'clock? That's odd to me.
Yeah.
Did they just not think Lamar was going to play?
Well, my guess is, how many bullets do you have with the Bills, right? They put them on Thursday Night Football.
Yeah, true.
Were they on a Sunday night already too?
They were just on Monday, the Monday double.
They were on the Monday double. So, and they're probably going to be on 3 more times.
Yeah.
Or true. 2 or 3, whatever. And quite frankly, man, they are a small market team. So the prime time, the networks, I mean, they're a team everybody likes to watch, but they are a small market team.
Yeah.
And so it's not like Josh Allen's playing for Dallas or New York or
I guess
LA.
Just knowing what we know now, Tennessee and Buffalo or Baltimore and Buffalo in prime time, they kind of fumbled that bag.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they definitely did. But anyway, the bottom line is pretty entertaining game. And the Jacksonville Jaguars are a part of it. And we'll see. I mean, we get to learn a lot. Here's the one good thing. I think the NFL, you're not blowing people out 4 weeks in a row. Heck, it's hard to do it 3 weeks in a row.
Mm-hmm.
So the Jags certainly aren't going to go there and blow them out. But the Eagles have blown people out 3 weeks in a row. Name me the last team that blew somebody out 4 weeks in a row. I just don't think that happens.
Yeah, doesn't feel like it.
My point is, the Eagles are probably not going to play as well as they've played the last 3 weeks. Now, I think there's a decent chance the Jags aren't going to play as well as they've played.
Right.
the last 2 weeks. But it just could make for a good football game either way, considering all of that. All right, we take a break one more time. Remember, overtime with Kurtz and Middleton coming up at 6 o'clock. And then we hand off to the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. They have a game tonight and tomorrow on the road, and then they close what's been a really good season for the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, and you can listen to it on ESPN 690. We'll be back from Davoli's House of Cards right after this. Brent and Friends on ESPN 690. Speaking of friends, let me tell you about my friends at Nimnick Buick GMC. New inventory on the lot and ready for delivery. Nimnick has more models on the ground than they've had in over a year. Great news for them, great news for you. Truckloads of new GMC Sierras, Canyons, Yukon, and Yukon XLs, Acadias and Terrains, plus new Buick Encore and Encore GXs, Envisions and Enclaves. Never pay over MSRP at Nimnick Buick GMC. Reserve yours today online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Have you been looking for a new truck or SUV? Just can't find the vehicle that's right for you? Well, Nimnick Buick GMC has new inventory arriving daily. And like I said, the lots are getting full. All you got to do is stop by Nimnick Buick GMC on Phillips Highway, just south of I-295. Order that new vehicle you have been dreaming of. One more note about Nimnick Buick GMC. If you live in the Jacksonville Beach or Ponte Vedra area, Nimnick Buick GMC now offers mobile oil changes in the local beach communities. Nimnick will come to your home or office, change your oil, rotate your tires, top off your fluids. To learn more and schedule your mobile oil change online, visit NimnickBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
ESPN 690 pays your bills.
Are you kidding me?
You've got 5 chances to win $1,000 every weekday at 8 a.m., 10, noon, 2, and 5 p.m. This is a nationwide contest message and data rates apply. Complete rules at ESPN690.com. ESPN 690 pays your bills on ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Hi, this is Keith Gurr, president of American Window Products. We are Jacksonville's oldest replacement window company. We have been providing excellent service for over 38 years and still have an A+ rating. At American Window Products, we have helped over 36,000 homeowners, and we don't use subcontractors. Right now, we're offering a free installation on 6 or more windows, as well as a free energy package. Go to AmericanWindowProducts.com and click for an estimate. That's AmericanWindowProducts.com. American Window Products, we are the window professionals.
See dealer for complete details. Jeep Adventure Days.
The countdown has started. And head to Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Arlington. Now is a great time to get the new Jeep you've always wanted. Compass, Cherokee, Grand Cherokee, Gladiator, and more. Bring us your old car, truck, or SUV and get top dollar for it. Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Arlington. Fast and friendly service you can count on. 9600 Atlantic Boulevard, across from that Regency Square Mall.
We're ready to deal. Best Bet St. Augustine is now open. Experience the best in poker, simulcast wagering, and fun card games for all levels at Best Bet St. Augustine. Best Bet's newest card room features 49 gaming tables, a state-of-the-art sports bar, delicious wings, a full-service bar, and freshly made sushi. Open from 10 a.m. to 4 a.m. Monday through Friday, and 24 hours on the weekends. Best Bet St. Augustine is located at 800 Marketplace Drive, right off exit 311. For promotions, go to bestbetjacks.com.
Men, if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction or PE and frustrated taking pills that don't work, Prime Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough medical treatments that effectively treat your problem. 98% of patients experience immediate results during their first office visit. And for a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Rubinsky. The physicians at Prime Men's Medical Center offer the most advanced treatments that eliminate ED and PE. Now men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
Guys, to eliminate your frustration in the bedroom, call Prime Men's Medical Center now to take advantage of this exclusive limited-time offer. Your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free, and you'll see instant results right in the office. Call now, 904-664-8214. 904-664-8214. That's 904-664-8214.
Hi, this is Mal Washington. The Malavia Washington Youth Foundation provides after-school and summer programs for youth in Jacksonville's urban core. Learn more about the foundation at malwashington.com. Want to offer hope and change a child's life? Please consider joining the Malavia Washington Youth Foundation once a week to mentor a child. Visit malwashington.com to learn more. Want to change a life but don't have time to volunteer? Consider sponsoring a child today. It's your serve. Visit malwashington.com to learn more.
Ready to hit the road this fall? Maybe a trip to the mountains or over the river to Grandma's? Then listen up, because you need to rent a Toyota from Arlington Toyota. If you've tried to rent lately, then you know rental companies are short on inventory, but not our friends over at Arlington Toyota Rent-A-Car. Arlington has 2022 and 2023 models in stock and ready to rent at a great price. Plus, renting a Toyota is the best way to try it before you buy it. Go to arlingtontoyota.com, reserve your rental, and discover just how good Toyota Rent-A-Car can be.
My heart was racing just making spaghetti. I could have waited to tell my doctor, but I didn't wait.
I was short of breath just reading a book. I could have delayed telling my doctor, but I didn't wait.
They told their doctors and found out they have atrial fibrillation, a condition which makes it about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you have one or more of these symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness, this is no time to wait. Contact your doctor.
Brought to you by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel V Pro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
Hey, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks. Did you know you can watch our radio show? Yeah, video of a radio show. Just search ESPN 690 Jacks on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Or follow me on Twitter at Brent A.S. Jacks. Watch the show live weekdays from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. or listen on ESPN 690.
He's certainly playing as well as anybody could have expected. And I'm real impressed with his protection. I'm very impressed with the running game that he's working behind. All of those things, he would be the first to tell you, make his job that or his good play attainable. But I don't want to take anything away from him. There's no question. He understands this offense. He has got the makeup for a top quarterback, and I underline the word makeup for a top quarterback.
Who was that?
That was Jerry Jones talking about his new franchise quarterback, Cooper Rush.
That was Jerry?
Oh, Jer.
Gosh, I thought it was at times, and I'm like, I don't know if that is him.
That was him on, what do we got? 105.3 The Fan in Dallas.
Wow.
Giving them the credit they deserve. That's his quarterback. You heard him.
Hey,
Sure.
I think you have, how handy do you have the cut from Boomer Esiason on our quarterback, like a real franchise quarterback?
Wow. What a shot at Cooper Rush. Somewhat handy, if I could read.
Yeah, if you think you can get to it, before we get too far removed from it, Boomer Esiason on CBS Sports, like their pregame show, they were talking about Trevor, and this was coming off the Indianapolis game, going into the game against the Chargers. So I can only imagine how they feel coming out of the game with the Chargers. And I just thought it was an interesting illustration coming from Boomer Esiason, who can kind of be critical to most.
Yeah.
And it seems like he's a believer in Trevor and Doug Peterson, if you have it ready.
Oh, I have it ready. There's one of two options. It's either going to be Pat McAfee without the beeps, so that could be a serious problem.
That could be fun, too.
Or it's going to be what you're calling for. But either way, we're playing it right now.
All right, JB, thanks so much. What a difference a year and a new coach has made for Trevor Lawrence. Phil, why is it that we finally see the kid that we saw coming out of Clemson?
A year of experience, got a new head coach who now calls the plays for him and gives him a chance to have success in what they've done. The play-action game has been really good the first couple weeks. Look at it, almost 10 yards a throw on play action, 2 touchdowns by Trevor Lawrence. And everything we're seeing so far, you say maybe he is a generational talent. Young quarterback, play action passes, they're great. Look at the separation from the defensive front. He can wind up and throw it deep down the field, almost on a line, to Christian Kirk for the big gain. Gotta love this, these young guys. They're dual threats, Boomer, something that we were not. But they got lead blockers, and look at him turn up, and he determines what kind of punishment he wants to take on the run. And last but not least, if you get pressure on him, He can move, and look at this turn to throw the football going to his left. That hurts my back just watching it, and right on target once again. So it was a really outstanding game by him. The question is, can they keep it up?
You know, I think the owner, Shad Khan, finally got it right with the coach hiring of Doug Peterson. He's certainly brought out the best in Trevor Lawrence. And what we saw there was just how good an athlete the young man really truly is. I think he's the next superstar. Back to you, JB.
Wow, thank you. Back to you, Brent, you were supposed to say, Boomer. But
Close enough.
I like here. See, this is what I was talking about. In the first few weeks, and this was 2 weeks in, that was just after the game against the Colts. But you need some conversation that's positive, because I don't care if you're in the building and you don't pay attention to it. The bottom line is you get asked about the negative stuff. You feel the negative stuff. You know who brings up the negative stuff and asks you questions when you're a player and a coach? You know who does it? Not the media as much.
Who does it?
Oh, the media does it. But your family. Like, because they live in the world we all live in. The player doesn't live in the world we live in most of the time. True. They're in the building, team rooms. They're not on their phone and social media as much. Some of them are, but not all of them. And if they're smart, they're not. So, but the family does. Their brother, their dad, their mom, their cousin. And then they text them like, wow, why are they saying this? What are they doing that? Well, it's better if you hear this kind of stuff. And I think these early numbers, these early metrics, every stat that's lining up for the Jags, the conversations from Boomer Esiason, Phil Simms, analysts like Brian Baldinger, who does weekly breakdowns of Trayvon Walker and the defensive front, the offensive line, and Trevor Lawrence and James Robinson. I mean, he's been glowing about those guys the last couple of weeks. And it's really good stuff, by the way, what Baldy does. So when you have that many people talking in a positive way, I think it's not that they need it to validate it. They know what they're doing right and wrong. And I don't think they care that these guys are saying that stuff. Really, I genuinely don't. But when everybody else can see it and feel it and talk about it, I think that's a good vibe. And that's a good thing. And it's a good environment. And it might breed more success.
I'm with it.
Yeah. So that's what's going on in Jacksonville right now. And that's pretty cool. And now we'll see if they can keep it rolling. We'll keep it rolling tomorrow. We'll keep it rolling tonight.
Yeah, we will.
We got overtime with Kurtz and Middleton coming up next. Another good day down here at Davoli's House of Cards. I'm getting our fantasy lineup ready right now.
Who we got?
I don't know right now. It's over there. They're shaking their head. Not good.
Not good.
Not good, it says. Pick the wrong pack, perhaps. All right, we'll figure it out. Maybe we have one guy that just kills it.
What a disaster.
We'll see. You can be a part of it, too. Come down to Davoli's House of Cards or give them a call if you want to get into the fantasy card breaks with us. Play against us.
Sounds like you'll surely beat us this week. Holy cow, Martin.
It's a long season. It's a long season, Casey. All right, that's going to do it for Brent and Friends on ESPN 690 here on a Tuesday. Back at it tomorrow, back in studio. But Kurtz and Middleton with overtime. And then the Jumbo Shrimp coming up next on ESPN 690.
I moved to Jacksonville 15 years ago. I found Nimnick Buick GMC. That led to the Acadia. I had a couple of them. And now the GMC Sierra truck, and I love it. I'm on my second one of those, all from Nimnick Buick GMC. GMC, we are professional grade. I know the product, the service, and I know the people. From Billy Nimnick to Jackie Lynch and James Jones. They've been my friends since 2008. Nimnick has been your friend in Jacksonville since 1941. NimnickBuickGMC.com. It's where I'll get my next truck, or maybe it'll be my kid's first vehicle at Nimnick Buick GMC.
Get in zone, AutoZone. Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage. You know, an oil change with full synthetic oil like Valvoline Advance can help your engine get more miles. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP Extended Life oil filter for only $36.99. Find your solution for better fuel efficiency today at any of our 6,200 stores or on AutoZone.com. Get in zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
Yo, Pablo Torre here, host of the ESPN Daily Podcast. When you want to go beyond your feed, when you want to get inside the score, when you want to get behind the highlight, there's ESPN Daily. Go deeper into the stories of the moment. Get the exclusive access and insider perspective that only ESPN can give you. ESPN Daily, hosted by me, Pablo Torre. Listen and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
If you play a sport or coach a sport or watch a sport in Jacksonville, there's a really good chance that uniform was ordered through Baker Sports. Look good, feel good, play good. Custom sports apparel at Baker Sports since 1997 and a staff that wants to help you. They are experts in the business and make outfitting your team a seamless endeavor. The homegrown Jacksonville business is now the top choice for apparel all over the Southeast. Baker Sports, uniforms, hats, shoes, embroidery, screen printing, and 3D printing. They do it all at Baker Sports, helping make your team look good. It's where I take my family to play golf, and you can take yours as well. The Golf Club at Southampton. It's the home of the Action Sports Jax Dream 18, and it can be your golf destination. Enjoy your golf experience by calling 287-PLAY, 287-PLAY. Play some golf or maybe practice some golf at one of the newest facilities in the area. Grab some lunch or dinner, too. Southampton has it all. 287-PLAY for tee times and more. The Golf Club at Southampton, the home of the Dream 18. My home course. Make it your home course, too. If you've been living with joint pain, you know how that feels and it doesn't feel good. Some of you might be living with joint pain or even arthritis and don't know the extent of it yet. Well, what QC Kinetics is doing for folks like you is nothing short of amazing. I'm talking real lasting relief from joint pain. Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in exciting new pain treatments with advanced regenerative medicine, non-surgical alternatives. If you're living with joint pain from injury or arthritis, don't let them tell you steroids and pain meds and surgery are your only options. QC Kinetics uses regenerative treatments that can restore and repair damaged tissue, and you can get a free consultation from QC Kinetics simply by calling 904-274-5522, 904-274-5522. Now in Mandarin and Ponte Vedra, these amazing protocols work with pain caused by injury as well, like a torn meniscus or rotator cuff. Call QC Kinetics for a free consultation, 904-274-5522, 904-274-5522.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anna Jar and Levine studios. Anna Jar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Giants leading receiver Sterling Shepard will miss the remainder of the season with a torn ACL suffered in last night's loss. Cowboys starting quarterback Dak Prescott, inching closer to a return, had surgery to remove stitches on his injured right thumb, told ESPN's Lisa Salters he could be back in a couple of weeks and is not ruling out this Sunday's game against Washington as a possible return. First Take host Stephen A. Smith.
When Dak is ready, you play Dak. Now, you don't rush him back. You make sure he's 100% if you win a football game. But we know Cooper Rush ain't no damn Dak Prescott. Let's not get that twisted. We understand that that's not the case.
Stephen A. on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Dak's return to action is predicated on his grip strength. An independent accountability resolution process hearing panel concluded that Memphis basketball coach Penny Hardaway did not violate any NCAA rules when he provided benefits to 3 prospective student athletes because of his long-standing charitable efforts in Memphis. The Tigers were placed on 3 years probation today and fined, but they did not receive a postseason ban. The benefits were provided in 2017 before Hardaway became Memphis's head coach.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay, and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Come join their growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today.
Edition of Overtime with Kurtz and Middleton. We got Jumbo Shrimp Baseball coming up in just a few minutes, 18 minutes to be exact, and we get you set for the final 2 games of the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp season. The broadcast on Brian Middleton on the 1s and 2s. I believe it's Power Rankings Tuesday. Do I have that correct?
You'd be correct.
You'd be correct.
So we have to get into it quick, right? Because we only have a little bit of time. The power rankings
absolutely.
take up some time. A lot of movement in the power rankings, I do believe. If you're on the stream, give me a second. A lot of moving parts. We'll get that up in just a second. But first of all, the game we were waiting to make our power rankings on, Monday Night Football, you got to wait till the season or the week's over before you make the power rankings. They got to stop putting these horrible games in prime time. Back-to-back just sleepers. You got Denver and San Francisco on Sunday night. That was atrocious. And then last night was a little bit better. But come on.
It took some time.
Come on, somebody. That's all I'm saying.
It took some time, Casey. I don't think it was nearly as, like you just said, as poor as the Broncos and the 49ers. That was pulling teeth without the Novocaine. That was a struggle right there. A defensive battle. That was
Jimmy
that
G
was a struggle.
stepping out of the back of the end zone.
But the Giants, yesterday with the Giants and the Cowboys, I tell you what, man, listen, I reached out to you to say, hey, I may be 1% closer to being a Cooper Rush believer.
Hey.
I may be 1% closer to saying, you know what, Dakota, take the season off. There were a couple of passes out there. I know you saw it, or you saw the highlight where it hit CD Lamb.
Yeah, I was watching.
I mean, in
Yeah.
both palms. I was like, oh my goodness. And it was just like, CD was like, no, I'm saying this jokingly. I got money on the game. Jokingly.
Jokingly.
You didn't say that.
He's not Calvin Ridley.
Okay.
All
But
right.
boy, when you look at that, I know there were fantasy players
I have 'em.
across
I have
the
'em.
world
Yeah.
that were upset. But yeah, it wasn't nearly as bad a game as the Sunday night game. I would agree.
Yeah, the Sunday night game was bad. By the way, I'll tell you how it's going for me in fantasy, Brian. If you remember, you beat me by 0.02.
Yeah.
I lost last night by 0.24.
Wow.
Things are not going well, Brian Middleton.
Wow.
My fantasy team is just good enough to lose the boys. It's disappointing. Anyway, we got to get better football in primetime. Thursday night should be better. Bengals, Dolphins should be better.
Okay.
Tua sounds like might not play, so we'll have to monitor that. But, it'll be on the station. You can listen right here. ESPN 690. All right. Power rankings. I started last week.
You did.
You start this week.
I will.
You want to go back and forth?
Well, I'm going to give 6 through 10, and then we can go, or we can go 1 through 5, then 6 through 10.
Let's do that.
1 through 5.
Give me your number one. You got
Number
music?
one.
Don't we have music under this?
I don't know what I can play.
You can play.
I don't know I can play when you came in with that. Yeah, just give me 5 more seconds and I'll get it right there for you. All
Sounds
right.
good. A lot of teams you could pick at the top.
Uh-huh.
Listen, I will tell you this. I had the Buffalo Bills up there last week. We had some discussion. Do not have the Buffalo Bills up there this week. That's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of power rankings music I need, Brian Middleton.
Yeah, okay. Number stays up. Here we go. First up. The Miami Dolphins.
You are
my
wild.
last week, number 4.
You are
The
wild.
Miami Dolphins are my number 1. Listen, Tua and the boys. That's what I say now. I don't say Waddle. I don't say Tyree. I don't say Cheetah. I say Tua and the boys. Mike McDaniel and the boys are out here. And they let everybody know, including Casey Kurtz and his favorite team, the Buffalo Bills, that they're here this season, okay? I'm smelling a Dolphin, all Florida AFC Championship game. Overreaction Tuesday.
There you go. Overreaction Tuesday. All right, that's your number 1. You wilding for that. My number 1 is the Philadelphia Eagles. Up 1 spot from last week. I had him at 2. This week I got him at 1. The Jags will go play the Eagles. But come on, somebody. I love saying that now, Brian. Thank you for that. Undefeated. Just beating the holy heck out of teams. If I do some quick clicking on things, they have scored 86 points and only given up 50.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Okay.
These boys are worthy of being number 1 in the power. The Dolphins. What are we talking about here?
Yeah.
The Philadelphia Eagles are number 1 in the power rankings for me.
It'll be interesting to see where you have Miami at. But, hey, look,
They're
man.
coming up. They're in the top 5.
Hey, listen. Philly, number 2. That's where I'm at. They moved up. They were my number 3 last week. They proved, I guess something against the Commanders. It was Devonta Smith. I mean, some of those catches, they got, listen, Philly is going to be a problem. They're going to say in the power rankings. I just need to see a little bit more. I asked Buffalo to see a little bit more, and what did they do? They showed me nothing. And Philly, I need to see a little bit more if you're going to overtake Miami. But I really like your team. Jalen Hurts is proving everybody wrong. They're a solid team. They're going to lose this week.
They might lose this week as they play the Jacksonville Jaguars. How about number 2, the Buffalo Bills? Down a spot from last week. Listen, some things went wrong in that game. But I think when you look at what Buffalo has now, they do have some injuries now. They will have to balance that. But, I'm not giving up on Buffalo because they lost one game. They weren't going to go undefeated. What? You know what I'm saying? The Buffalo Bills are still there. They still have the quarterback. He's still him. They still have Stephon Diggs. They got all the pieces. Greg Rousseau, by the way, don't let my mans get working because he's sacking everybody inside the Buffalo Bills still at the, second now in the power rankings as the Eagles jump them from my rankings last week.
Unbelievable. Okay.
You unbelievable.
Third up, I got
I
got the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah,
what are we going to do here, huh? You got Lamar Jackson is out to make $300 million guaranteed this season.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody in the Ravens organization made him mad, and now they're going to reap the benefits of it. Baltimore played Miami better, in my opinion, than Buffalo did. And that's the only reason why, I got them ahead of Buffalo. I've already given away my number 4 pick. But yeah, I got Baltimore Ravens at number 3, despite that porous passing defense.
At number 3, I have a 3-0 team, and that's the Miami Dolphins. Coming in right where they should be at number 3. Listen, I know they beat Buffalo. It's okay.
They just did.
Yeah,
You're right.
It's okay. Everybody gets lucky a little bit. I like the Dolphins more than most people that speak on this radio station. Aaron Schachter, I'm talking to you, buddy. But, let me see a little bit more. We talked about it. Buffalo going down to Miami was going to be tough. If Miami went to Buffalo, would we have the same experience? I don't know. We'll find out later in the season. I love Jalen Waddle. Love the guy to death. His name, his game, his celebration. The guy's a superstar. Need to see more. Need to see a little more. All right, I'm not sold. I know they're 3-0. They beat Buffalo. Good job. I'm not sold. I have him at 3, Brian.
You are going to put respect on Tua's name before this season is over.
I might.
You're going to say his name in a positive light before this season's over, Casey Kurtz.
Call me Heisenberg. You know what I'm saying? Say my name.
Fourth, I got the Buffalo Bills. I mean, listen, they're a good team. I like Josh Allen. I mean, he put up 400 yards. It's great. In a loss, by the way. And listen, I needed to see more. It's not that I don't believe in them as a team wholeheartedly. There are just other teams I feel like that are playing better right now, that have a better resume right now. Buffalo will still be there all 17 weeks, barring catastrophic injury, Casey Kurtz. But right now, they're the 4th best team, in my opinion, in the league. Not bad, though. Not bad.
You wild. And the fourth in my power rankings is the Baltimore Ravens. To your point, Lamar Jackson, $300 million guaranteed. It's coming soon to a theater near you. Dude's electric. They play the Buffalo Bills this week, by the way. Should be a pretty good football game. You got the Bills and you got the Ravens. You also have the Jags and you have the Eagles. So 2 really good games. Baltimore's just getting rolling. They're gonna figure some things out. Those wide receivers are starting to make some plays. What happened to Miami is what happened. It's in the past. Lamar is him. There's no doubt about it. They continue to get better. Give me number 4 for the Baltimore Ravens.
All right, man. Good stuff. So number 5, man, is really near and dear to my heart. I struggled just for a second, and then I realized the 2 teams I was dealing with, there was only one clear-cut answer. The number 5 team in my power rankings is your Jacksonville Jaguars. And I got to be real with you. Save for one long stretch of inconsistency against the Commanders, they would be higher right now. Call me a homer. Call me someone who is biased. It don't matter.
But don't call you broke.
Hey, I don't know about that one. But listen here. The Jags have proven 2 straight weeks against NFL competition. Yes. One of those teams just beat the Chiefs, by the way, who I think highly of. Mm-hmm. That they can beat the brakes off of you. That they can dominate you from beginning to end, make you look silly, make you look inept. And I love it. I love the maturation process happening faster than I think anybody really thought of, Casey Kurtz. And I think they got problems for defenses and offenses on the opposite ends of the ball. So I'm going with the Jacksonville Jaguars as the number 5 team on my power rankings. What you got?
The Jacksonville Jaguars.
There you go. Finally,
at number 5. Right. Yeah, it's everything you just said. Domination of other NFL teams going on the road and doing it in Los Angeles. I don't care who was out there. They've been dominant. They have been dominant in these last 2 games. How will that go into Philadelphia? I'll tell you this. If they beat the Eagles, they'll be the number 1 team in my power rankings. because if you beat number one, you get to go to number one, and that's how that's going to be. You see how I did that even though the Dolphins didn't? I didn't put it up there. Right. That's okay. New weeks go to new things. The Jags at number 5 in the power rankings as well. Brian Middleton, 6 through 10. I struggled with this, but I'll tell you what I got.
Okay.
I got the Chiefs. They're better than the Colts. It was a bad day. I got the Dallas Cowboys.
I'm not mad.
All the way up.
Not mad.
I don't know why fully, but Cooper Rush might be him. I got Tampa. I got Tampa. No Mike Evans, no Godwin, no pieces. They'll be better than that. I still don't know about the Packers. I'm not with all that. This is where I get kind of reckless. I got the Giants at 9 because I can't find anybody else to put there. I know what you're thinking, the Rams.
Yeah.
The Rams, so what? They've barely won games. They're giving up more points than they score. I need to see more from the Rams.
Oh, okay, that's what
I think there's stuff there for the Giants. And by the way, I'll go to my last team, number 10, the team that has scored more points than any other team in the NFC, the Detroit Lions. They have scored more points than anybody in the NFC. I don't care what their record is. The problem is they've given up a lot of points as well. So anyway, they score points. The Lions are going to be better. But 6 through 10, Chiefs, Dallas, Tampa, Giants, and the Lions.
Okay, I'll make mine really quick. At 6, I have Cleveland. At 7,
Cleveland!
At 7, hey, listen.
Cleveland!
Except for the Jets.
What?
Doing something that the Jets won't do again for another season.
The Browns!
Cleveland would be 3-0.
You are wild.
What Cleveland has shown is that they have mettle, moxie, Casey
They got no
Kurtz.
business putting you on the radio. What does that take?
Yeah, there we go. Hey, Cleveland! Kansas City at 7.
You are wild.
The Rams at 8
This
because
is so
for some
poor.
reason, Casey Kurtz is like, hey, get this. I got a team that scores a lot, gives up a lot, is 1-2, but they are ahead of a team that just won the Super Bowl and is 2-1, figuring out a way to win. Who's making the crazy takes now? I got the Rams at 8. I got Tampa Bay at 9.
You are
and
wild.
listen, man, you'll like this one.
I will.
I got Minnesota at 10. I did some musical chairs, even though I got Tampa ahead. I almost left Tampa off and put Green Bay there, but yeah, I got Minnesota at 10. Sure, fine. Why not? Kirk Cousins. I'll show you a little love to show that I'm not
There you go.
that biased against you.
Didn't hear the Arizona Cardinals on there. All right.
Well,
all
I mean,
right.
there's no need for them to be on there right now.
Kyler need to do some studying.
We need to make sure that this is put down in an actual form where people can see it in history.
Oh,
because
we're gonna put it where people can see.
you are bugging with the Detroit Lions now. I like them as a team, but come on, man.
They'll be on the graphic. I'll make a graphic as soon as we get out of here.
Okay.
But right now we got to get out of here for a break because it's the Lightning edition of the show. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball coming up next. We talk to Scott Kornberg right after this.
ESPN 690 pays your bills.
Are you kidding me?
You've got 5 chances to win $1,000 every weekday at 8 a.m., 10, noon, 2, and 5 p.m. This is a nationwide contest message and data rates apply. Complete rules at ESPN690.com. ESPN 690 pays your bills on ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Now, the first alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly cloudy tonight, temperatures dropping into the 60s. Becoming mostly cloudy tomorrow, a few scattered brief showers as temperatures reach into the 70s. Impacts from Ian look to be primarily later tomorrow night and especially through the day Thursday and into Friday. From the CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News, Jack's First Alert Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where now you can buy like a dealer buys.
When I moved to Jacksonville 15 years ago, I found Nimnick Buick GMC. That led to the Acadia. I had a couple of them. And now the GMC Sierra truck, and I love it. I'm on my second one of those, all from Nimnick Buick GMC. GMC, we are professional grade. I know the product, the service, and I know the people. From Billy Nimnick to Jackie Lynch and James Jones. They've been my friends since 2008. Nimnick has been your friend in Jacksonville since 1941. NimnickBuickGMC.com. It's where I'll get my next truck, or maybe it'll be my kid's first vehicle at Nimnick Buick GMC.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $700 on average, and those savings add up. Imagine what you could buy in the future.
Remember how 15 years ago I switched to Progressive? Well, I used all those savings to buy that golf club that swings for you. But now everyone who plays golf is really good because, the club swings for you in the future, which is now.
So switch to Progressive and save big because those savings can add up in the future. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National annual average insurance savings by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive in 2020. Potential savings will vary.
I'll second guest dinners with friends because they can be interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit creoninfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
See the road ahead more clearly with Sylvania Bulbs and O'Reilly Auto Parts. Right now, purchase select Sylvania bulbs and get a $15 gift card after mail-in rebate, plus receive double O Rewards points. Replace your bulbs today and see better tonight. Let the professional parts people help you find the bulbs you need. Visit O'Reilly Auto Parts or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
When wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
Action Sports Jacks. Watch, listen, subscribe. You can watch us on CBS 47 and Fox 30. You can listen right here on ESPN 690. And you can subscribe to our YouTube and podcast, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Action Sports Jacks. Watch, listen, subscribe.
Action Sports Jacks overtime. That's now overtime with Kurtz and Middleton. You play the old music. I go back to the old name, Brian Middleton. You threw me off there for a second.
There you go.
Was also working through the break. But nonetheless, Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp Baseball. For the second to last time this season, ESPN 690. Scott Kornberg, Norfolk, I believe, is in Virginia. If it's not, just glance over it. We'll pretend. How you doing?
I'm good. We are in Virginia. How are you guys doing?
Beautiful, man. We are, we're just living another day. Some weather coming in, but we will keep powering through. Scott, are you sad the season is just about over?
Yeah, and you know what? On that note, they haven't canceled tomorrow's game yet. I honestly hope they do. I don't know what we're supposed to do up here. These guys have families. I have a family. These players want to get out of Jacksonville after the season, get to where their kids are and wives and spouses. And I think it's crazy that we've had to wait now about 24 hours until the first pitch of the last of the season and don't know if we're even going to play because there's a hurricane and we've got to get home. I mean, Norfolk had to play a night game tomorrow, and we can't fly then until Thursday morning. This is not an easy place to get out of, and we're not supposed to fly in until about 3:30 on Thursday. So that doesn't seem like it's going to work out. And to be quite honest with you, all the players, it's really all they're talking about.
Yeah, and Scott, I saw your tweet. Obviously, I know how much it impacts you with your family. So, yeah, it's a weird situation, and I don't want to glance by it, Scott. But at the same time, I don't want to steal any of your time because I saw another tweet you had today about your pregame interview. I want to make sure that gets in because it sounds like it's going to be pretty exciting, right?
Yes, that'll be. That is the cool part is that we do get to play baseball tonight, and for a few hours take our mind off that. But Aneri Sabala is going to join us in a few minutes, and it was really cool. First ever interview in English. He has not had the best season on the field. I think he would admit that. But at the end, these are guys who leave everything behind to come to this country. They don't know the language. They don't know the culture. And he thanked all his teammates for being his family here in the United States. And I mean, just like a really touching moment. It's not easy for those guys. And so really cool for him to do that unprompted at the end of our interview here in a few minutes.
Yeah, that's really cool stuff, Scott. Hopefully we get to do this again tomorrow, but if we do not, heck of a season. Good job from you and Matt. Enjoy the call tonight. Hopefully everything works out. But the Shrimp and the Norfolk Tide, Scott, take it away.
Yeah, guys, thank you for everything. If we don't get to do it tomorrow, if we do, we'll talk to you tomorrow. But pregame show.